What is up, everybody? This your boy King Jives. Listen, let's get ready for the show on tonight. Listen, get your popcorn. Let's get ready and talk about all this bullshit tonight. We're gonna have a great time. Get your cheers and everything. Remember to hit that like button, share button, and all that other stuff like that. Share it in your DMs, Instagram, Facebook, all that other jazz like that. See you right back here in a minute. What is up, everybody? What is going on? Good evening. Good evening. God damn it, good evening. Listen, make sure y'all share the live. You already know the rules. When y'all come in, hit that like button, share the video, all that stuff like that. We got a great show lined up for you tonight. Some legends tonight. Some legends tonight. Oh yeah, some legends tonight. We're going to have a great show. Y'all remember the house rules. Do what y'all supposed to be doing. I don't want to have to cuss nobody out tonight. But y'all know I am the goddamn king around this bitch, okay? All right. So listen, let's get ready for the show. If you get offended, suck your feelings up. You'll be all right. Anyways, we're going to have a good time tonight. Just wanted to say this. House rules, no more than 8 emojis in the comments. Okay, we ain't going to do that. We already got moderators to handle that. Okay? All right, anyways, and we're off. Okay, praise God. Amen. Praise Lord. Listen, we're going to have a great show. All of that stuff. Listen, good morning, good evening to all y'all. See y'all down there in the comments. What it do? What's up? Listen, make sure y'all share the video. Make sure y'all hit the like button. I hope I don't have to give instructions tonight. And please don't make me have to act up in front of guests. They're really not. They're not my guests, but they y'all guests. Okay, praise God. Listen, so they said no gum and no candy. Hey, that's right. We in the sanctuary. Anyways, so make sure y'all do that. We're gonna have a great time. I had to, put my little stuff on some paper tonight because I wanted to make sure I stay on topic. Because y'all know me, I get to carrying and it's just gonna be a whole situation when I got company. Anyways, but I want to just welcome tonight. Did I do my stuff? I engaged with the peoples. I did that. Okay, I said hello. All that good stuff. Praise God. Amen. Listen, I want to introduce to you all my peoples. They're from different houses, but we're all family. I am Pastor Maybach in the ballroom, but I am King Jives to y'all niggas. Okay. All right. So first of all, I want to introduce to you all Muva Tabu. Okay. She is a part of the house of Ninja. I think she's a part of another house too. I think she's a Juicy. Is you a Juicy? No, yes. Okay, I'll probably mess it up. My bad. I'm sorry. And then I got Vodou Revlon. Revlon is here, and we're going to have a great time. Listen, we got so much stuff to talk about and cover. We got balls we got to talk about. Listen, just too much. But anyways, give me one good second while I find my, listen. Okay, I got it. Listen, I just want to bring on Muva Tabu and Revlon. Y'all welcome, my saints.
Hold on, let me put the button down.
All right, listen, I want to first of all say thank you so much for coming on. Oh, yeah, she is a Juicy. All right, she is a part of the house of Juicy. And she is the mother of Ninja, okay? Vodou is here. He is a part of the house of Revlon. Okay, I ain't got no thanks for that, but y'all got it. You got it.
Oh, wait a minute. Not y'all skipping out on the Old Navy.
Oh, well, okay. My bad. A part of the house of Old Navy.
That's big O.
Okay. Listen, I love everybody. We just have fun over here. Listen, I appreciate you guys being here on tonight and just willing to take this time. If y'all don't know, we about to carry on tonight, okay? So if y'all got ballroom people that y'all know down there in the comments.
And if there's any naysayers out there, okay, this is prescription. It's medicated. We're treating issues over here.
Hey, you know this. We're treating issues. Okay, you know, hey. I can't do the week.
We're gonna get into all of that. We're gonna get into all of that. Yeah.
I tried it. It gets to be a bit much for me. Yeah. So listen, like I said, I thank you guys for being on tonight. It is truly a privilege that you all are here. And who? Oh no, don't do that, Kaden. Don't do that down in the comments, Kaden. Don't do that. Listen. He said old who?
Oh, the one that won the most categories the other night. That's who. Anyway, carry on.
You talking about the breakdown? You know it was 2 Mulans. You know it's 2 Old Navies on the panel, right?
What?
I'm just saying. So you can't be feeling no type. You know, oh, we did that. When you getting extra help on the panel,
I know that's not come from the girl. That's not come from the girl who let the girls who didn't come dressed right get tens.
Girl, listen. This is a learning environment. I want to make sure all the girls have their opportunity to shine. So we're gonna do that. This is a home around here. A learning experience. Yeah. Okay. So
girl, I was like, they came out of the aisle. I was like, one child. Tabu was like tens.
But Tabu, you was giving everybody almost tens. I saw that though. I was right beside you.
I was giving everybody tens. But see, the reason behind that is because people have to understand. Yeah, you want to be fair. You want to teach people about ballroom, but it's like, you know, you kind of got to read the room. In a place like the breakdown, which is kind of geared towards introduction into ballroom and really just kind of creating an atmosphere where people can come and experience ballroom. I think sometimes when you're being too structured, I mean, it's not a real ball, let's be honest. Sometimes when you're being too structured, you kind of suck the fun out of everything. So for me, and for, you know, the guests and the patrons that come out to the breakdown, I want to create that atmosphere of, you know, easy peasy fun, go out, have a good time. I'm not really worried too much about it. I'm not thinking too much about it. So I'll give the girls their tens, very much encouragement. I mean, of course, I'm still going to pick the person who I think rightfully, you know, should win. But give them a chance, y'all, let them have fun.
Yeah, girl, Taboo's nice. I'm not.
Oh.
That's why your ass ain't on the panel, girl. So you playing.
That's fine. A-okay.
At a real ball, it's not giving that. But at the breakdown, girl.
Listen, Vodou. Tabu is being
disrespectful daughters. You already know how that
Tabu is being, but I want to tell y'all, this is Tabu's song. Tabu is the author and the finisher of this song. I want to give Tabu credit and everything. So if y'all want to know who the creator and the originator of this song is,
I'm tired.
It's Tabu, y'all.
My house, trying to use my resources.
All right. So listen, y'all, let's go ahead and go on with the show. Nelson said, I agree with Tabu. I agree with what Tabu is saying. The breakdown is a different environment, period.
Right.
All right.
Let's be fair.
Girl, block her. Next.
Oh.
Don't block her.
Oh, so listen, we got a few topics that we need to cover. Listen, sakes, wait a minute. Somebody that popped up in the room. Y'all, let's welcome Yummy.
What's going on, y'all? It's the one and only, the up and coming legend of the iconic house of Vivica Fox. Honey, you know, it's legend. It's the up and coming legend Drax performance, hands performance, runway, your all around mother. Yum nasty if you're nasty. What's going on?
Nothing. Thank you. Did you make it safe?
No, I'm safe. I'm driving safely, but yeah, I am safe. You know, I just got a few more minutes to do a little, you know, destination arrival.
Where did you come to Orlando?
You said what?
What did you come to Orlando for?
I'm teaching tonight.
Oh, you damn sure ain't telling that.
Well, maybe not.
She don't love me. It's okay. She don't love me.
Well, you can still come. Class starts in an hour.
I wasn't invited. No, thank you.
You're invited now.
Oh, that's my invite?
You're invited to Cat.
Oh,
And
okay,
you
yeah.
to King Jives.
Cat's not coming.
It's not
Well,
giving,
yeah.
girl. You
I'm in Tampa. You in Orlando. That's an hour drive. No, man.
right?
Well, anyways, all
It's
of
giving
you
high.
are invited. So come on out.
not while I'm on the show and you want me to drive an hour afterwards. No, man. No, man. So
Nice
listen,
to
let's
being y'all acquaintance and things of that nature.
No.
we appreciate you, niece. We appreciate you. Listen, let's go ahead and get into these topics because Yummy has a class he got to teach, and I don't want to hold my people long. Although they said, just we're gonna let the Lord have his way, but we ain't gonna do that tonight. Okay. So listen, we got some topics that we do need to discuss. So the topics of discussion: anti-diversity and inclusion laws. What are your thoughts? How do you feel about them? And how do they affect the LGBTQ and even especially ballroom? So, for LGBTQ students, the Don't Say Gay bill.
Now,
Okay. You want to go ahead, Tabu?
no, you can go first before I
All
start
right.
shit.
So here's my issue with that. In this bill, it says that you can't bring anything up LGBTQIA plus related if it's not in a learning environment. So my biggest issue is when I was in school, I had my teachers' husbands pop up. They'd bring things in. They talk about their lives. They've had family photos on the desk of their families. So are you saying that if a queer teacher does that, or wants to have a family picture and or has their husband or wife come in to bring something in they left behind or bring in a treat for their kids, if a child asks me a question of who is that, am I supposed to lie?
Oh, that's my best.
Right. Or if a child's like, oh, they see the picture on the desk, like, oh, who is that? Am I supposed to lie and be like, oh, that's my friend, that's my roommate? And then on top of that, that takes away the safe environment for children who are trying to come out. Because say if a child approaches me, I don't know if I think it is the Florida bill, but I know several of the states have it where if a child does come out, you're supposed to tell the parent. Now
you gotta tell the whole body.
Right. So if a child has not felt safe enough to come to you as a parent to let you know, obviously that's not a safe environment. So why would I out that child? And then on top of that, if they don't and the school finds out, there could be retaliation. It's just not adding. It's not adding up across the board, because now you're saying as a queer teacher, I can't answer any questions that are asked or show anything that might invite questions.
I think they want you to stay in the closet. I've been out too long. I can't go back in.
Right.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
I probably don't have like a very popular opinion when it comes down to this type of stuff, but from my research, because I did do a little research into it, and I want to take a very realistic stance on it, and not really try to take a particular stance towards any direction. I just want to be as objective as possible. So from what I was kind of like breezing through, it's mainly geared towards like a certain demographic, like certain age demographic. I believe it's from like 11-year-olds down or some shit like that or whatever. But basically what they're trying to do is they're trying to pretty much say anything that can be seen as like influentially gay, they don't want it in school. Now, here's my thing. Before I go out and make a big fanfare about, oh, you're limiting our rights and this is that and the third and all these, what if scenarios and stuff like that, I think about how applicable it is in real life. Me growing up, I don't ever remember anything gay being talked about in school. I don't know if things, have changed since then, but I was still able to obtain my general education just fine without any of that stuff put into any type of particular context. For me, I don't see how that particular bill, the Don't Say Gay, can negatively affect those grade school age children. Because I'm having trouble trying to wrap my mind around where would that apply for them. Because at 11, 9, 8, 7, I don't know too many out gay children, or I don't know too many children that are, and maybe I'm naive, maybe it's just me and my point of view, but I haven't seen that too often. Not saying that kids don't struggle with their sexuality at that age, but I just personally don't see that being as much of an issue as some other things that Florida is doing.
I want to clarify something. As far as March 22nd, he actually extended it to all grades.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. So as of March,
my bad, guys. Oops.
Yeah, you can.
No. But honestly, from what you're saying about the if say he didn't extend it and it was just the lower grades, going to that, I would have to say that because it is being so because you know how people say, "Oh, I didn't have that back in my day." It was because it wasn't accepted as much. So now that it is more so out in the open, and like even back when I came out, I think I want to say I was 12. I was playing baseball. Baseball. Them tight short. Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe I was a church boy. I didn't come out till I was almost 30. So
can we take our coming out experiences away from this and let's just look at it from an objective point of view?
Right.
And I'm just speaking about that one grade range, the 10, 8-year-olds, blah, blah. These are small children. Regardless if you're coming out or coming into your own at that age, sexual conversations or sexual health, I feel like that's something that should take a real scientific approach rather than a, what's the word I'm looking for? I don't want to say emotional. That I feel like it don't fit. But more than a theoretical, you know what I'm saying? I think it's more important sexual health be more on the physical realm. Now, I don't know. I guess I'm in between on that because at 10, 12-year-olds be fucking.
We had sex ed started for me when I was in third grade.
Dude, they be fucking. So I can't really put it in this naive point of view, like, oh, they're kids, this is their third. They should learn about these things. But I have to question where the outrage is centered at with my community so I can really build an opinion. So far, I'm hearing stuff like, oh, kids won't be able to, talk about gay or express themselves or, whatever the case may be and, blah, 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 blah. But, or teachers won't be able to be gay or whatever. But is it that detrimental that they can't be gay in school?
I think what people are trying to say is when they talk about kids not being able to do something, it's more so along the lines of say if a kid has two moms and two dads, they actually would not be allowed to bring that up in class because you would not be able to talk about that. Because
under what grounds do you penalize the child for talking? If we're having talk about your family day, and I go up there and I talk about my same sex family, do I get penalized? Does the child get penalized? And this is where me and my wheels start rolling. The actual common sense in these laws or bills, I think the bills are stupid, by the way, but the actual common sense in the practice of disciplining people who do stuff we're having, I don't know, parent-teacher day or whatever, and I bring my two dads in. Do I get disciplined for telling the class, oh, this is my dad, I have two dads or whatever? How exactly does that work? Y'all suspend the child?
So according to what we're kind of reading, especially in these laws, it's like if you say anything gay, anything about homosexuality, whatever the case may be, I'm not sure if you're going to get suspended or whatever, but there's going to be ramifications that's going to happen. And if you're a teacher that's bringing up this subject, you can be fired, which I think is dumb.
So the only real control that this bill has is over teachers. Because if my child comes in talking about me and his dad, who are his parents, that's his personal fucking business. If you ask him about his life, he's going to be honest and tell you the truth. That's just that. And I would support that as a parent. And, I would find it hard to believe that they can actually discipline me for allowing my child to talk about something as regular as having fucking.
What if it is a case where, as Vodou mentioned, that the home for the child isn't a safe space, and you're going to that teacher my favorite teacher ever, and I'm in the third, fourth, fifth grade. Miss Brown, Miss Reed, I really want to tell you something. Like, I, you know, I come out to her. So now what does the teacher
You
do in that case?
you
Well,
can't have the You're not allowed to have the conversation.
you can't have a
Right. So
conversation.
how, as a teacher,
You have
how Taboo, as a teacher, how would you like redirect that?
I'm having trouble relating that teachers are being put into that type of predicament. Again, maybe I'm naive, but like, I guess if it's a teacher that like has some type of vendetta against the child or whatever case may be, they'll report them. But if I feel comfortable enough to talk to you, I highly doubt if the teacher is going to betray that trust. You see what I'm saying? Maybe I'm being naive, but me as a child, I wouldn't be telling no teacher no shit like that if I felt like, bitch, you're going to go tell on me.
Because I mean, according to the law, if this don't say gay bill, if they find out that you're a same gender loving, if you're LGBTQ, if you're transgender male or female, they have to tell. Basically, it's like they just got to take a megaphone phone and tell the school, tell the classrooms, the parents, hey, I have an LGBT student in our classroom. If you don't feel comfortable, you can take it. I mean, it's really stupid. Like,
it is stupid because my whole thing is, how do you acquire that information? Because again, if I'm confiding in someone, and this, I guess I can only speak for myself in this situation. 9 times out of 10, I can trust that they're not going to say anything. I don't believe that they would say anything. I feel like a teacher in that situation just wouldn't say anything. And then what the fuck are y'all going to do?
So say if I tell a teacher and then like teachers like talks to me and like calms me down and is like, hey, you're good, da da da, and then I feel comfortable telling my friends. I tell my friends, and then my friends are like, my friends, because you're in school, girl, and that gets around. What's stopping them from putting an investigation in if another teacher hears about it or anything like that, or they pull me aside and like, who else did you tell? Because now it can go back to that teacher.
I just think it's bullshit because it's like, who the fuck cares? Like,
that's what I'm saying. Like, bro, who cares?
You're gay.
The reason why
it does make obviously me think about how you said, Jives, that like, is it kind of like forcing people to kind of not be gay, I guess, or
go back to the closet?
Like it just creates like this whole like, I don't know, people are already scared to come out and they fucking 30 40 50 plus years
let them use your just go
in my inbox.
I think it definitely could. It could have a big potential of impacting, and still do impacting people in the whole queer umbrella. Just people are still coming to terms with themselves. It takes so many years. Jesus Christ, like everybody's different.
I mean, for me, like, I mean, I'm obviously from a different world. Like, I've been in church my whole entire life. So, for me, even though it sounds really crazy, but I didn't come out till I was almost 30. And so the reason for that was because I was a part of a huge organization. And if you did anything, they would ostracize you and it would just be a whole hot ass mess. Even though, the preacher and the pastor and everybody else was sucking dick and the armor bearer was the boyfriend. I just felt like, I just chose to be honest. I didn't want to be on somebody's blog. I just wanted to be like, this is me. I'm one of the gays, even though I got this brooch on my arm, like I'm not one of the gays that was like, yes, pastor, amen, yes, girl. I didn't do that in church, what I'm saying? But I was just that type of person. I was just like, hey, I'm gay, whatever. Let's move on. Cause I'm like, it didn't stop nobody from trying to get with me. It didn't stop nobody from trying to meet me at the hotel room. It didn't stop anything. But the moment that I did that, it became a big issue. Like I got stripped of everything, and I mean, not that I even cared because I wasn't kicked out of church. Didn't nobody take me, strip no titles or nothing. It was just, I couldn't operate publicly, But even with that, you know, it's like in the school systems, it's like they can fire you and then they'll spin a narrative and say you out here raping and touching kids.
And for me,
But see, but, okay. Go ahead.
For me, I was called out before I knew, like before I came to terms with it. So
me too.
In school, I was a dancer, very much athletic still, but like I was like kids called me gay and called me the F swear and all that stuff. So if that's going on, my teacher stepped in. My teacher was like, "Yo, you can't do that. That's not all right. Like he's perfectly okay. You can't be." So can a teacher do that now? So if a kid is being bullied and a teacher can step and be like, "Hey, stop bullying," but they can't explain like they're normal or people are like that or this happens, right? So that's where I'm coming from. It's like, okay, we know that bullying is a big thing in these schools, even from those ages. So if a kid is being bullied and say they haven't come to terms, say they don't even know what it is yet, but other kids are like, "You're this, you're that." Can a teacher step in and be like, "No, don't do that," and just leave it at that? Or, and then not try to explain like, "Hey, there are people who are different."
Why? Right. I guess they would have to explain it in a way where they're not actually. I don't know. It'll be hard for the
Talking
kids
about
to understand
sexuality
that,
in
though.
general.
I mean, I don't know. I didn't have like sexual education classes when I was in elementary, middle, or high
You
school.
did?
Like, yeah,
Girl.
like all of that stuff.
I did.
And
Well,
it makes
Yummy
me
from
think
Florida. He grew
about,
up down here, so no shade.
it really makes me think about when I hear "Don't Say Gay" Bill. It puts me in a place of when I was very, very, very young, and I was like, I looked at my mom and like called out to her, and she said, "Yeah," and I couldn't tell her that I like men, but you know, I can't even do that with places that I'm comfortable with now. That just makes it will make me feel like, dang, now I'm stuck in a box. I can't tell my favorite teacher who I probably could trust, or even talk about anything that I'm thinking about. I don't know. That it would definitely mentally and emotionally, spiritually too, impact so many people in our community. I hope it just doesn't work at all.
But
But
see, my whole thing is this: what is the effect of it working? I think that's what I was trying to explain earlier. Like, how is it actually like going to be made?
How's it going to be enforced?
like, what's the consequence?
Right, because if you're relying on teachers to come and say, "Hey, I'm reporting this and blah 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 blah," that like, there's plenty of stuff that teachers, student teacher relationships, they keep between themselves with some sort of
I feel
discretion.
in the perfect world, yeah, but they are, we are dark skinned and
I get what that. Well, hold on, time out, Yummy, because the situation.
There are people I would assume will just not take it. They'll get her out of here. She gotta go.
But hold on. Like the conversation y'all was explaining earlier, I like that because it did put something into perspective for me about how, like, a teacher could be put into a situation, with bullying of kids and not really being able to rectify and stuff like that. So I can kind of see how it can get in complex in some areas. But in my mind, if I'm a teacher and I'm trying to preserve my job, but I'm also trying to express something to children, I feel like there is a way to like get it out there because if I look back on my childhood, not saying that people didn't say gay, but you know how it is when, older Black people talk to you about, oh, child, he a little funny. They don't never really actually say it, but it's like, it's heavily implied. And bitch, you get it. You a young little
We in a new world, though.
But no. But here's the thing. So now they expect you to report bullying. How do you report that? So now you're like, hey, I'm reporting this bullying issue. This is what went on. These kids are calling this kid XYZ. So
I mean, you can still describe. I'm pretty sure you can still describe an event. From what I'm reading, you can't socialize like gay anything, literature, news. I guess the science behind gay, whatever. You can't put that anywhere in the curriculum with these children, as well as, I guess, reporting their gayness. But that's mainly the powers of the law. Other than that, I didn't see anything else. You get what I'm saying? So my whole thing was like, okay, well, if all y'all saying is they can't put no gay whatever, or like Langston Hughes, I learned in high school that he was a gay man, right? The poet, the famous poet.
Yeah.
Learned that, he marched for Martin Luther King, blah, 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 blah. And the reason why he wasn't at the forefront of the civil rights movement is because at that time, people felt like, yeah, you're gay, and Martin Luther King didn't want to conflate the two issues. I learned that in high school. I can understand them saying stuff like that. We don't want, blah, 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 blah. But when we start talking about all the like social impacts of not being able to talk about gay and this is and their third with children, I feel like, okay, y'all can make the law, but bitch, like who gonna follow it? There's always a way around everything. And girl, if it's not being recorded,
so Tabu,
how I talk to my students.
So Tabu, this is my thought. See, we know about Langston Hughes, Ruskin. I forgot the man's name. Byron Ruskin. I think that's his name. Him. He was with Martin Luther King, all these things. All of these great people that were a part of the civil rights. It's like you're telling the people, and they're taking this out of the history book because, that's the next thing. That's the Stay Woke Act. They're taking all this stuff out of the history books and all of the learning, and they're saying we can't talk about these people. You can say Bernard Rustin, to him. You can talk about him, but you can't talk about him being gay. And I'm just like, but we could talk about the fact that Martin Luther King had affairs and was fucking around and stuff, but we can't talk about. On
the flip side, should all of that be conversation for a bunch of 11 and 8-year-olds?
That's where the issue lies. If you're gonna take away from one group, take it all away.
In my opinion, I don't think that's information for children. Maybe when you get to like a higher learning level, of course, those are some caveats that you can put into the complexity of the civil rights movement, the people, the characters involved, Martin Luther King, Rosa Parks, whoever. When you put in all those things, you see the real life version of these people. But in the 3rd, 4th, 5th grade, I think just knowing these are the people that were in the civil rights, they did these things, and that's it. Let's move on.
But see,
I went to Laurie Elementary. Elementary in Florida. So 3rd grade we had our first sex ed. 5th grade is when I learned about Martin Luther King and his affairs. That's when I learned about all that.
Wait, the reason. Vodou, how old are you?
Right now, I'm 30.
How old are you?
Girl.
I'm sorry, I should ask a lady.
I'm 32. I'll be 33 in August.
Okay, so everybody on here is pretty much younger than me. So, y'all all okay? Well, I'll take that too. But so I'm 38, right? So in the late 80s, early 90s, I didn't. And this is why I'm confused with the whole thing because I never heard about it. It was never a big deal about who was gay, who was straight. When we talked about Martin Luther King, we just talked about Martin Luther King. If Baynard Rustin got brought up, he was just brought up. We didn't know he was gay or straight. I guess now people make it their business to say, oh yeah, that Rustin guy, yeah, he was a homosexual. Who the fuck cares? He worked in the civil rights movement. Why do we need to know his sexuality? And this is my.
I don't think they'll give that in class, though.
Representation is very important because when I did learn those facts, it did make me feel a little bit more included in history because we don't learn about people that's like us. So I do think that is important. However, if we don't have it, because I didn't grow up with it. A lot of the information I learned after I left high school. I didn't grow up with it, and I still grew up pretty functional. If these kids don't get that, my whole thing is, so what?
So
they don't care about who was gay and who wasn't gay. So
can we jump back to the teacher thing for really quick? So I teach at West Tampa dance. I'm a dance teacher. Yada yada yada. So I have kids. I teach about 30 kids in class. So if I'm teaching and this actually happened. I was teaching once, and I have a different relationship with one of the kids because it's my nephew. So I speak to my nephew differently than I speak to other children. Now, I don't speak to him differently out loud. I'll pull him aside and speak to him like that. I got reported for speaking to him a certain way to our studio owner because one of the kids overheard me. Obviously, the studio owner brushed it off because she knew that's your fucking nephew. I know it's different. So in that same sense, who's stopping another child from reporting that teacher?
I guess in those situations, these are like variable.
Yeah. So, but it's, and then when it comes to the whole representation thing. So sorry, there's a dog and it's barking. When it comes to representation thing, I personally, this is probably gonna rub people the wrong way. I personally do not feel connected to the Black community as a whole because of the experiences I had as a child. My first bully was Black. My being called the N-word, the F-word was Black. Growing up, my mom was always like, it's just because they're kids. It'll get better. As it got better, as I got older, it did not get better. I literally secluded myself from that community, but I was still the person that was correcting the people when it came to the stories and stuff of that nature, of things that were going on when it comes to the Black movements and everything.
Mm-hmm.
But if I would have had someone say, hey, this guy who helped this civil rights leader, he was queer. He may not have been pushed to the forefront, but he was in that fight helping these people. It would have been like, I'll take my bruises, but I know my people need me. Now it's like, so if I am seeing a kid being a teacher, if I'm seeing a kid struggle or being bullied, I can't step in and be like, hey, that's normal. This is what or hey, you're loved, or hey, there are people like you who are in your community who do X, Y, Z and still help in your community. I just feel like taking that aspect out of it is like robbing a child of being like, hey, I can get there and do what I want to do because there are people who came before me who did that.
I think I just come from a place where because I grew up in Philly, completely different environment.
Yeah.
Most of my teachers throughout my life were shitty. I didn't have that type of relationship. So I'm really trying to be open-minded and connect myself with the idea that some people are close to teachers like that. Some teachers do take that, initiative, do raise that flag for certain students or whatever the case may be. I just was never privy to that type of behavior. So in my mind, I'm like, I guess that all sounds great. Very noble deeds from a very noble person if we do got a teacher like that out there. But if I'm gonna be really, really honest, most of the teachers I see, or that are around these days, they're pretty shitty. I've raised kids, I've interacted with teachers, you understand what I'm saying? And I've seen how different teachers are nowadays than when they were 20 years ago. You see what I'm saying? And for me, I just feel like as a community, we would do better setting up support and stuff for children outside of public school. Because public school is going to be public school. The government's going to see how they want kids indoctrinated, basically, and they're going to proceed as such. So my mind isn't really too social justice warrior on that front. There's a bunch of other things I would fight for in terms of kids in school before that particular topic. Now, there are other topics that you did post that I am that is fucked up. And it does need to be looked at as a real, civil rights violation. But for this, I'm just kind of like, child, don't let these kids talk about don't be fucking.
Can we jump to that indoctrination? I've heard people not you in particular, but because I'm a troll online and I get into some shit just to get into some shit because I'll be bored at work and be like, you know what? Let me get into some shit. So, indoctrination as a whole is the process of teaching a person or group to accept a certain set of beliefs, right?
Okay.
So if say I come across Yummy and I'm a straight man, that's hard to believe, but but and Yummy's like, say I start bullying Yummy, and then Taboo comes up and he's like, you can dislike them all you want,
Why
but
you gotta bully me?
there are people who are like that. Get over it. Would that be considered indoctrination?
No, indoctrination in my eyes is more. It's more of a process. It's more of a system. There's more care that's put into putting certain ideas and basically propaganda into people's heads, and it kind of starts from a core value of things like religion, morality, social status, whatever the case may be. So when I think about indoctrination, I'm thinking about that. And when I'm talking about indoctrination, I'm not necessarily talking about a particular social idea. I'm just talking about in general the American idea, capitalism. All those things that historically we pump through the public system, our kids are always going to be subjected to that. And as a parent, somebody who's actually raised kids, I firmly believe you do your best to teach your kids alongside of the public education that they have access to. Because that's just the bare.
The reason why I bring that up, the reason why I bring that up is because it is this. It says in the bill, not to bring it up unless it says last time I read it, it says unless it's educational or educationally approved. So like the school approves it, right? Mm-hmm. Obviously they're not going to approve it because the bill is passed. So when we blur the lines of a word like indoctrination, because they throw it around all the time when they're describing queer people. Mm-hmm. How are we not seeing that? Say the gay thing gets taken away, whatever. How are we not seeing that they're twisting other things in the same public system?
They are.
So
just like they do with a lot of different topics, not just sexuality. A lot of things get misconstrued and twisted based off of environment, time period. You understand what I'm saying? It's certain things that are not acceptable now that back in the day when I was in school, it was all free game. Even back when we were in school, when I was in grade school and stuff like that, I've seen the transition of how things are just changing in society as far as schools are concerned and children are concerned. I remember I was in like third grade. And no, I wasn't third grade. I was in like seventh because this was after the Twin Towers. And I had told somebody
right.
Seventh.
You was in seventh grade when the Twin Towers fell?
I was in
sixth grade when they fell.
I was in high school.
Okay, girl, you an old bitch. Damn. What the fuck? Shit. Okay, let the young bitch play.
She just seasoned and marinated.
But I remember it was dodgeball or something. We was playing dodgeball in the gym. And in the morning, people go to the gym and, play around, play basketball, whatever case may be. So we, still play dodgeball. And I told, somebody I was going to murder them with the ball. And I got in trouble for that. And I could not wrap my mind around it. But I had a teacher explain to me about how, we're in a different pace now and things like threats like that will be taken seriously. And then she educated me about the Columbine thing and the bomb threats, Timothy McVeigh, all that bullshit. And she was basically just kind of showing me how these things cannot be taken as a joke. Versus probably a few years before that, I was telling bitches I'll stab them in the eye, scoop their face out with a spoon, whatever. Just dumb shit. I'm a kid.
That's
but now it doesn't matter that I'm a kid. This is the world that we live in now. So
go ahead. Go ahead.
Well, my point, I'm just gonna finish this all out. My point is, depending on what environment, what time period we in, all those different things and stuff like that, people have to keep in mind that how society views children, how society views the next generation, how society views the current time period has everything to do with how education is going to be getting spewed out to your kids, even on TV. And when we talk about social media and all those different things are so different now. Influence comes from so many different directions. You see what I'm saying? And I feel like as parents, it's our job to help interpret that with kids. Now, maybe some kids don't have that. And maybe the whole thing about the teacher and relying on the teacher and blah, 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 blah. Maybe that's where that comes in. Again, I told you, I can't really connect with that because I come from a place where niggas we weren't going to talk to the teacher. There's no shade. We'll go outside and get into some shit before we go talk to that damn teacher. So
Go ahead.
But that's pretty much it. That's what I was, getting my point at.
So I mean, I want to just swing back around this. I think representation. Well, I think someone just text. Representation does matter. Yummy said he had to go. Okay. Representation does matter. It is a very big thing. My only point in saying that is this. Nobody is saying, Martin Luther King was gay or somebody was straight or whatever. It didn't matter. Just for the fact that they were there, that's only my only point. Mm-hmm. But I do believe in the representation part. The reason why I say that it didn't matter is because when people say, oh, Bernard Ruskin, oh, he helped in the civil rights movement, but he was gay, they say it like it's a bad thing. You get what I'm saying? Like, it's good to know that he was a part of LGBTQ. It's great. But when people talk about us, it's like, yeah, he's a faggot,
but you can't stop people.
You can't.
What and this is the reason why I'm so comfortable. Because I learned a long ass time ago. My mom, when I first came out, I had a really easy. I don't know if I ever told you my story, but I had a really easy time coming out. I'll tell you.
Me too.
Yeah, but my mom did make sure she shared with me her concerns about me going out into the world. And one of the things I've learned early was, you cannot change how people perceive you. You can't make people accept you. You can't make people understand you. The only thing that you can do is exist in this world and be responsible for your own reactions. So there's going to be evil ass people out there. There's going to be people who just don't understand. There's going to be some people who they will never understand what they're looking at when it comes down to us. And we just got to be the fuck okay with that. Only thing I'm asking y'all to do is don't limit my freedoms and don't kill me. That's it. And don't steal my money. Other than that, I don't give a fuck how you feel. I don't. It has no effects on my life at all. None.
This bill, the bill alone. I don't have children. I'm a gold star gay, so I didn't get caught up back when they said try some pussy. I didn't get caught up in that.
Yeah, me too. So, I didn't get caught up in that. It is.
So, you just come out at 30 something, bitch, and your ass. Who was you doing this whole time? D.O. dicking it?
No, girl, that right hand got pregnant. Anyway, but I say that because wanting to be a queer, like wanting to be a parent when I get older, and say I don't think these bills will be around by that time. But say if I was a parent now, I would be afraid. Not afraid. Like I would not want to put my child in a situation where I have to come to the school.
Mm-hmm. It's gonna be a situation if I got to come up there.
Right, because one, I'm showing ass, and two, I'm gonna be gay as fuck. So even when I first heard the Don't Say Gay bill, the first thing, right, the first thing I thought about was queer parents. That was the first thing I thought about, and then when I read the bill, I read through, and I was hot because it was like, so now these teachers have to watch their step if they are queer. I just saw an interview with this lady who no shade, but she read lesbian, shortcut, but she read lesbian, and she was like, okay, with this bill, my wife can't come drop off treats and stuff for the kids, because
what restrictions? And see, this is the thing that goes through my mind when people be making these situational stories.
My man coming to drop.
It's not situational because
off those cupcakes. What y'all gonna stop her at the door? You're gonna please wait for her?
No.
And then even if she decides to come down to the school, who's to say that that's my wife? You don't know who the fuck she is to me.
The issue there lies with the kids asking the teacher the questions.
None of your fucking business. What happened to the kids minding their damn business?
See, but that's not the same. That's not the same thing. If it was a straight teacher,
I was younger. I would never ask no adult no shit like that.
Anybody care?
You just said the times are changing. Kids are gonna ask these questions.
But you know what, Vodou? Here's the thing, though. Now, I don't know, like certain schools I was in, because I grew up in Florida. In a small part in Minnesota, some kids was like, "Oh, Mario, who is that?" I mean, And for me, if it was somebody who I didn't want to say who it was, like my mom's ex-husband, my stepdaddy, I'd be like, and we keep it pushing. Like, bitch, if I want to tell you who the fuck it is, I'm gonna tell you who it is. But they do ask all the time.
I come from the era of, baby, you don't ask no grown folk no questions. Don't question me.
I get questioned so many times. But the reason why I bring that up is because, again, this teacher, I watched this interview. I'm gonna send it to you guys after this. But the teacher was like, she's very forthcoming with herself. So if her wife came down and dropped something off, and they're like, "Who's that?" They're like, "That's my wife." It keeps going. The class keeps going. Everything keeps. But now you can't do that.
I mean, I don't know. I'm just
but
maybe I'm
that's
just
the
not
thing.
that type of gay. I'm just built a little different.
Y'all
don't have to know that. It's none of your business.
And then there are people like me, because if you ask me that question, I'm gonna answer it. Like my nephew, he was like, "Who is that?" Like, that's my friend. Because he knows, because he wants me to get married. I'm like, girl, I'm not gonna do that. We probably ain't gonna do that.
You won't get married?
There's this Taboo. I think Taboo knows this. There's this thing. I had a timeline. I wanted to be in a serious relationship by 30 because I wanted kids by like 33. Because I don't want no damn toddler when I turn 40.
Baby, I wanted to be married by the time I was 23 and I was in high school. Baby, 25, 23 then came and gone. I'm almost 40, baby. It's okay. If I get, you know what I'm saying, whatever.
But no, because I'm at that point where it's just like, girl, I'm done. I'm about to be like you. I'm about to be like you in your DL years and use my hand.
Okay, so y'all listen. The next thing on here is Alabama law and school. Now, I can't wait till we get to this inspection topic because, baby, listen, there's gonna be some ass whooping on that one. Anyways, the Alabama laws and schools. The Alabama bill was especially sweeping. It banned transgender students from using a restroom corresponding with their gender identity. It required school administrations to inform students' parents if they identified as LGBTQ. It makes it a crime to provide gender-affirming medical care to transgender youth, and it restricts the teachers, and it restricts what teachers can instruct to their students on regarding sexual orientation, gender identity. Alabama Governor Kay Ivey, a Republican, signed the measure. There are very real challenges facing our young people, especially with today's society pressures and modern culture. She said in a statement, "I believe very strongly if the good Lord," I'm gonna say it like she said, "if the good Lord made you a boy, you need to be a boy. And if the Lord made you a good girl, you need to be a girl."
So this topic makes me hot for several reasons. So one, her statement towards the end where she brought up religion.
Good Lord.
Right. Once you bring up religion, I'm checked out because one, not everyone follows your religion.
Girl, I'm grabbing my
two, your religion is yours. So whatever you do in your household, because you follow that religion, because you're the head of that household, that's fine. Do that. Don't bring it around me and my child. Like if my child's in school, like with that, the Texas just passed that, is trying to pass that bill about having the 10 commandments in every single school, big enough for every student to see, no matter where they are in the class. I would lose my shit. Second, when it comes to transgender children in schools, let me say this: healthcare. As I'm a nurse, by the way, healthcare when it comes to trans kids starts with just by first they have to go through doctors and psychiatrists and psychologists and stuff like that. It just requires you to use their pronouns. Use the pronouns they want to be called by. Use the name they want to be called by. Let them dress a certain right. Let them dress a certain way. Let them live like that to make sure that's what they want to do. That's the first move. That is not surgery. You're not like all that. That's not doesn't happen. When it comes to them using the bathroom, there was one school who had trans students use the teacher's bathroom, or like that one bathroom that only had like one stall in it, that one, just to keep the child safe. But if a kid is comfortable enough to go into a bathroom to use it and come back out, I don't see an issue personally. But if a kid does not feel comfortable because they're being bullied or something like that, then that's an issue I would want like them to stand in and be like, okay, you got to use this bathroom over here, the private bathroom. But you to be like, you can't use a bathroom that you identify as. If that kid goes to school dressed as they identify, and you put them, like, say if it's a trans girl, and she's dressed down T as a girl, and you throw her in the men's room or the boys' bathroom with other boys who now you can't educate them about it because the bill before and all that stuff, you're putting that person in more danger. And that's where my issue lies. It's like, so you said you care about children, just not the ones that don't identify the way you want them to.
You know, Vodou, this is where I have an issue with all of this, because they want to put 10 commandments in the school. They want to teach this. They want to teach that. All of it sounds good and white because they want to take Black history out. They want to take, LGBTQ learning out. They took sex ed out years ago. And it's like, now y'all want to put 10 commandments in there. Well, I feel like this. If y'all want to put 10 commandments in the classroom, well, one of the 10 commandments is thou shalt not kill. And so what happened to thou shalt not kill when you're bullying and killing transgender students? What happened to thou shalt not kill when an LGBT boy or girl is bullied at the school and beat up at the school because they identify as gay? Now, also in the 10 commandments, it say love thy neighbor as thyself. Do you love your neighbor as yourself? Because if you love yourself, you wouldn't give a fuck what that gay little boy or little girl is doing. I'm confused, but I'm not confused at what they're trying to do, because if you're trying to put the 10 commandments in the school, well, bitch, put the prayer back in school too. Because seemingly when we had prayer in school, people sat down somewhere and shut the fuck up. I don't know, but they were still fucking the little children because the principals and the priests and stuff, they still doing it now. But that's my issue.
But even then, like when it comes to religion, if you're gonna put one religion in the school, you gotta put all of them in.
All of them.
So
somebody in the school may not be Christian.
That.
And you gonna sit there and tell your child, tell the little Buddha child that you gotta pray to the Jewish God or the Christian God? Like, that's gonna be a whole problem.
And again, I backed out. I raised in the church, backed out of it. My child, like, when it comes to that, I will show up at that school and show out. So when it comes to like the trans kids and the bathrooms, I just feel like they're putting them in more danger.
Okay, let me say my piece real quick. Sorry, I had to let my dog out. She was getting on my nerves. As far as the religion, like the Christian overload that's happening in Texas, again, I have to be realistic. Whoever the dominating culture is in an environment, that's the people that's pretty much going to make the rules on society. Right. So that type of stuff comes like to no surprise for me. Do I think it's right? No. But do I understand? Yeah. And unfortunately, we live in a world where there has to be some sort of normalcy and assimilation that's put out. And Texas is making it that's their normal. And a lot of people and a lot of families would agree over here. That's why these laws are getting passed. You see what I'm saying? So for me, I mean, it's crazy because there's a part of me that feels like, as far as like the whole safety thing, and I'm thinking from a parental point of view, and this is going to sound real fucked up, but from a safety point of view, knowing where I live I wouldn't want my child to present or transition publicly. At least not until you're at a certain, I don't want to say at a certain age, but yeah, let me say at a certain age. Until you're at a certain age or a certain maturity level to deal with that type of backlash. Because children, need to be protected, and I feel strongly about that.
Correct.
So it's less about me not wanting to respect your identity. I will call my child whatever the hell they want to be called. She, Georgia, whatever your name is, hey baby, let's get up and go to school today. But today you have to be George, baby. It's no shade because you already know how these racist ass people. And I don't know, like me growing up, my mom kind of dealt with me in that way. And my experience is like, I'm gonna scare the shit out you as to what's out there, so you can be a little bit more psychologically prepared. Like I knew about a lot of shit at an early age. My mom taught me about like molestation, rape. I remember at like 4, I knew about all that stuff. My mom, she just didn't play that. You know what I'm saying? So I wasn't in a really too sheltered environment. Like the boogeyman is outside. I grew up in the projects, so we knew about a lot of shit. I knew about drugs. I knew about AIDS at like 5. I knew about crack. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not even in like school. I know about crack. I know what that is. Most people stay away from it. I know what it look like. You know what I'm saying?
Booger sugar.
Yeah. So I just feel like if you're a parent and you're accepting your child as LGBT transitioning, whatever the case may be, do your homework, baby. Like you know what kind of laws, you know where you at. And if truly your child's safety and stuff is in mind, you can't count on the world to be gentle with your LGBT children. You have to, as the parent, you have to do the work, and you have to. And it's going to sound fucked up because things should be great, but you're going against the tidal wave, a whole community of people that don't give a fuck if your child live or die. Don't give a fuck how you know what I'm saying. Don't give a fuck about you, your black trainee ass. Okay, Dwayne Wade. Hope you and your, you know what I'm saying. That's still your son. That's how people feel. It's up to you to take your child, prepare them for what they're going to go through, and put them in the best possible situation where they can succeed. So me as a parent, I would move my child somewhere else where they can be transgender and live their life and be happy.
But then in that same
go ahead, Vodou.
In that same breath, not every parent has that monetary ability to just up and move.
Correct.
True. But that's when you as a parent have to make a decision, like, what you're going to allow your child to do and stuff. You understand what I'm saying?
So my dad, when I first came out, now mind you, my dad's street, like he was hood nigga straight through. My dad, when I first came out, he was like, "You have 3 strikes against you. You're a man, you're black, and now you're gay." My dad made sure I knew how to fight. Period.
Mm-hmm.
He told me, what you do is you tell a teacher once, you tell a teacher twice, you tell a teacher 3 times. After the 3rd time, swing on them. Okay. That's just it. That's how it is. So for me, it's like, if my child wants to transition and present a certain way, I'm going to let them do that. And I'm going to let them know, hey, you might have to physically fight when you get out there. You might have to get down and dirty. And then when you do that, and I get called to the school because you got in trouble for it, I'm gonna let them know. This will go on every single time it happens until you step in and fix it.
So Vodou, here, this how I feel about that, and I'm cutting you off. I'm sorry. Like, I feel like as gay individuals, we don't have it hard like those of our sisters and brothers that are transgender. We don't have it hard like that, because we just gay. But our transgender sisters and brothers, they have a whole nother issue, whole nother situation of issues and problems that they have to deal with.
Hold on.
Well, the reason why I say this is because, they get labeled as crazy, mental, all this. And I mean, I don't think so. I just think if that's how you feel, that's how you feel. Like, if you feel that you're in the wrong, placement or whatever, I mean, that's how you, I can't judge you. That's how you want to feel. Only thing for me, I just feel like whatever decision that you want to make sure that you're prepared for that. Like Vodou said, because again, you got a different set of things that you're going to have to deal with. Because again, when you go outside, you got something you got to work with. And so just make sure that you're prepared mentally. And not everybody's going to have to go down that road, but just make sure you're prepared for the real world when you go outside. And it's not to scare nobody, but it's just
you need to scare motherfuckers.
But
Please, okay.
even then, with the
Let's be
government,
clear.
like the government is there to protect the people who are
The
paying the goddamn
government is not,
taxes.
bitch. No, they're not. No, they're
No, no,
not.
no, no.
That's
That's
not
what
how
they're
our government is
supposed to be.
designed.
So that's what it's supposed to be placed for. So my thing is, you're targeting these group of people. I remember talking to my friend. I was like, "Look, if y'all gonna target these group of people, they can stop paying taxes then, right? Because basically you're using my own money against me." But that's a whole other thing. But um, with that in mind, it's like, so you want these people to stop being the way that they present, and then you want to put them in more danger if they don't stop being with present. The math is not mathing for me. You say you care about children, but not these children. That's all I'm reading from it.
Mm-hmm.
And then, by the way, there's and y'all who in the comments that you still here, there is a test done where they brain scanned a female and brain scanned a male who identified as straight, and brain scanned a trans woman and a brain scanned a trans man, and their brain scans, the straight male and female brain scans were totally different, and then the trans woman was closer to the woman and the trans man was closer to the man. You can look it up. I'm not lying. It's actually out there. Look it up. So why I say that is because these people are going out and they're presenting this way. It's because that thought process is there. Like, they're not insane in that sense that everyone keeps trying to like paint them as. And the fact that I think Taboo, you comment on a comment that a post I made when I said this, like with the bathroom thing, how they said they want to put people back in the bathroom that they're biologically born as. As a gay man, I like men and I'm in the male room. So when are they going to start making gay bathrooms and lesbian bathrooms?
Okay, because girl.
Because I'm in the room.
Because your daddy, he's
right.
danger, girl. Okay.
So basically, what you're saying
well, fuck
is
your dad.
right. What you're saying, and I'm at that age where I can be with your son or your daddy. So,
okay. Shit, I'm
so
the
what you're
real one
saying
lurking
is,
in the shadows. You sure you want to put me in that bathroom door? Do you know it goes down in the third stall? Okay, are you sure?
Tap that
I'll go in
foot.
that bathroom.
Tap that foot. So
Go
my
in that
thing is,
bathroom, honey.
so either
Yeah.
you're saying that trans people are more aggressive or more for lack of a better word, rapey than an actual gay or lesbian person.
Saying?
That's the only thing you can say, because if you're like, these people cannot be in these bathrooms because they identify differently, but you're allowing queer people who actually like men to be in the bathroom as men, then you don't see nothing wrong with it.
I guess they feel like it's stuff like that, and this is where bias comes in, the male bias comes in, because stuff like that would sooner affect trans women than it would affect trans men, because how society would see it is, you're a man stronger than a woman, a predator, and you're coming, in a space where these weak individuals may feel vulnerable, which is a bad thing.
I know of.
I'm just saying, this is the thought process behind that.
But see, they try to use signs like that. But if they try to use signs like that,
I'm just trying to put this into context.
Oh no! I hear you.
When they make these bills, they're ideally targeting trans women, because it's normally, the language is normally keep the men out these women's bathrooms.
Yeah, that's what
it is. Keep the men off the women's team. So all of this is really like, it is all transphobic, but a lot of it is hyper geared towards trans women, generally speaking. So I just wanted to make that distinction, because society has this general toxicity with femininity, whereas the audacity for a man to choose femininity over manhood, that it drives fucking people crazy. You know what I'm saying? Because trans men don't seem to get the same stick as trans women.
They don't.
Actually, you'll gag, because a lot of people didn't even know that they were a thing as a trans man.
That's my point.
And
people can't even wrap their mind around the concept, because they're so stuck in. And a lot of the times when we even talk about gayness, a lot of it really falls back onto gay men.
Yeah.
Generally speaking, the issue is about men and their masculinity, and how it is generally policed by society. And that's why gay men, trans women, and effeminate men are normally the target for these types of propaganda, because it is that visceral thing, and it's not just our society; it's multiple societies. It's that visceral thing of, I guess, it's patriarchy. Is that what we're gonna call it?
Yeah.
But it's that thing that's trying to hold on to that idea of masculinity in society, that people shun everything that steers away from that. Because I don't give a fuck what nobody say. A masculine woman was always more accepted. Me growing up, witnessing this throughout everything in life, was always more accepted than a feminine man. Mm-hmm. And then you're going to go to line of, you want to actually become a fucking woman? Faggot? How dare you? That's why they always go to chopping your dick off, because they can't even fathom the fact that, well, maybe I feel like a woman and I want to keep my peace. Their whole thing, they're so obsessed with, what is it called?
Genitalia.
Yeah.
Genitalia.
They're so obsessed with a dick that y'all hold on to that idea of dicks and women and men, and y'all just can't fucking compute. You didn't even think about the fact that
but what's funny
there could be a
about
man with a pussy. You didn't even think about that. That didn't cross your mind.
What's funny about it is these Republicans have an issue with it. Some of these Republicans who have such issue with it are paying transgender women with titties and dick.
Dick rules the world. You know when they say pussy rule the world? Pussy ain't rule shit, bitch, because pussy can get drove crazy by dick. Dick runs the world, girl. It's no shame.
And then
dick always fuck you up.
That thing where,
and
like,
these
they're
politicians, they are crazy over dick. They're trying to control all the dicks, even the dicks on trannies. Okay, they're trying to control all of them. Okay, that's what this is about. It's about Republicans and their obsession with dick.
But say, Tabu, now you said something really profound right there.
It was dick. It was dick.
Oh yeah, well, dick too.
Dick. High. Okay. Now the dumb shit starting to come out. But go ahead.
Here's the thing. What we're dealing with is old ass white men trying to tell everybody what the fuck to do. You got old ass white men who are Republicans who feel some type of way about women, who feel some way about the black color people of color. That will sound like people of color. They feel some type of fucking way, and it's like you're trying to give us rules and regulations and shit. And I'm just like, this don't sound like nothing that has to do with black, white or women. It's just anything that affects your white old richness. You got a fucking problem. But then y'all found out, because all y'all that sit up here talking about the LGBTQ, your motherfucking ass used to do drag, bitch. You was out here sucking dick. You got
baby, you were on all fours last night in my living room, barking like a dog. You filthy fucking animal. Okay, we know what you like. And then go back home to your wife. You didn't even take your wedding ring off in the car. You're a fucking slut.
And then they ignore that fact that the statistics of it all, but love to bring it up when they fight against people like that. The statistics of it all is that 87% of people who molest children identify as straight.
Mm.
So why isn't there no regulation? Over 80% are also white. Again,
you know what I have a problem with, and I know this is like we probably was gonna brush up on this, but fuck it, we here now. I really always had a problem with people trying to equate gay with some type of perversion to children, or they're always so hyper concerned about.
That's the next subject. Go ahead.
We'll save that because I know where it comes from. Well, historically,
we was here. We might as well just dive into it.
Okay, so historically,
the wet. Get in it. No shit.
I don't want to get in that. So historically, I learned this. I left the church, obviously, but I study religion. I like to study religion because I like the view of everything. So historically, back with the Roman and Greco empires, when the Bible first popped up in Hebrew, it said abomination or tofor, which was what the word was, which they wrongly translated it to. The thought was if a man was at the top, and that was it. You were the top of everything. Girl, if you don't pull that drag and just pull...
I'm trying to tell you, girl, I've been talking all this time.
Right. So if a man was at the top, it was seen as him giving up power if he was going to bottom for another man. That's why women couldn't even back in those days.
Sometimes the bottom got the power too. What the fuck you talking about?
Girl, history don't like bottoms either, daughter.
So
all you sissies,
if you were a man and you were taking another man inside of you, you were seen as giving up your manhood, like your power. Because you being the penetrator, you were at the top of right. So that whole idea trickled down, and then when it hit the Bible, it was actually talking about adults and children. Not consenting adults, not two consenting adults. It was talking about adults and children. So then, obviously, when King James came around, it involved everyone. But abomination in the Hebrew language, what we translated it to, actually meant that it was just different. Like it wasn't widely practiced. So it was out of the norm, basically. That's why you see abomination when it talks about.
Vodou, this is the problem. They don't like smart punks. They don't like us. They don't like people that think, study, all this. And when you present facts, you're twisting the Bible. No, bitch, I read and studied.
You see, this is the one thing I want to get across for queer people. Actually, people oppressed, period. In this nation, we can't change things unless we get into that seat of power. And if you notice, along with the queer laws that are being passed, they're making it harder to pay for colleges. They're making it harder for minorities to get into colleges. They're attacking the all the the Black or the people of color, like the scholarships, HBCU scholarships and stuff like that, to make it harder for us to get in there. The thing is, if we get in there and get our degrees and then go into these and take their spots in government, they can't do anything. Like with the Justins that happened in Tennessee. The two people who got kicked out for Justin, I can't think of their last names, but they got kicked out because they were protesting with the people who showed up for gun violence. They do not like people like us, the minority, to get the education needed to change things. And that's where all these things are coming from. There's a fear that these people are getting smarter and actually making the moves to take people out of the government and putting people like us back in, or putting people like us in. That's where all these power grabs are coming from. But back to the whole. Well, go ahead.
Until all these old white people die, shit ain't gonna change. So we might have to wait another 20 years, but they all gonna be out of here.
Elizabeth Warren said it best. She said she saw when segregation happened. 90% of people in the government saw when segregation happened. So I don't expect these people to have, if it's not white, it's not right, basically.
Didn't you had a conversation, Vodou?
Huh?
Didn't mean you had a conversation the other day?
Yes.
Like, why are these people in office so long?
They don't. Only the president, I think. Only the president has
80,
90.
Like, girl, who the fuck? Aren't you supposed to retire like 65? I mean, what's shit fucking old biscuit ass deal? Like,
and then they sit in office all these years and they keep making these fucked up ass rules, and it's like, bitch, it's not 1912 no more. Like,
but it's like, how do we make the crypt keepers get time?
Oh.
I mean, no. Okay. Like the president.
Bro, we on Facebook, honey.
Like the president has a 4-year term, only 2 terms. Why can't these people that sit in office have the same thing?
I agree, but there is some advantage to having experience when it comes down to like leading a country. You understand? Because people were alive for certain shit. So because I see how like certain news stations and certain places, and just how we got so much misinformation now. If you didn't actually weren't alive and experience this shit, you could be caught up in a whole fantasy wormhole. So I think it's important that we do have some people who weren't there to kind of, hey guys, this is the past, because you do need to learn from your past in order not to repeat the same mistakes in the future.
Republicans won't do that.
I am for, longer terms and stuff like that. However,
10 years?
10 years is good. Or, however, just put a fucking age restriction. I think after you in your late 60s, 70s and stuff like, clip it. You 75,
or you should
clip it.
Get an apprentice.
Clip it. For real, clip it.
Get an apprentice and teach them about the law and not about your personal beliefs.
Do different shit. Just don't be making clip it. It's no shade.
So
or maybe we should develop some type of system in our culture where these people take a step back and do some type of tutelage to the next politicians upcoming. Well, I guess politics just isn't designed like that, so bitch, that'll never happen. But I don't know, child.
Or they can do a taboo set and die.
That's what I think. That's what I'm doing. I'm just gonna wait the next 20 years out until these motherfuckers just start falling one by one, falling off.
What they're afraid of is they don't want black people in power and they don't want LGBTQ people in power, because once we get in power and we start seeing this shit that they've been doing for so long, we're gonna start changing this shit up. Because one, we knew the oppression. Well, we didn't, but our parents before knew all this shit. And like I told somebody the other day, and I said on my show, this is a different generation of people. And these Gen Zs ain't gonna put up with this bullshit. You ain't finna sit out here. And this is the reason why they're doing what they're doing. They're out here trying to make people scared of the law. That's why these policemen are out here choking people and hanging black folks up in trees and all this other bullshit. It's like you're trying to make people scared, but what you're doing is you're putting people in a position where they're going to start fighting back. And I'm telling you would have caught the right person. And that motherfucker who choked that bitch in New York, bitch, and everybody else mobbing them on it would have got their ass whooped. Cause baby, ain't nobody you got the right one. Ain't nobody playing this shit like that.
Well, did he just get charged with murder?
No, they didn't even charge him.
Yes, they did. I just seen somewhere that they charged him with I think so.
Oh, I'm gonna look that up there.
But one of the police officers who were involved in a murder of a black person just got rehired. And when he got rehired, the quote from the sheriff who hired him was, "We are looking forward to using his experience." But what experience are you talking about? Because my thing is this: if you are
over this country, girl,
if your boss relieves you for murder, you shouldn't be able to get rehired. Period.
But that goes to show you exactly how they feel about us, not just gay, but us people of color. Like they applaud you killing a nigga. They applaud you choking the fuck out of somebody, shooting them motherfuckers. They applaud and they will rehire you, and they will put the shit in the newspapers.
So, did y'all catch when I think his name was Neely? Is it the dancer that was choked out?
Jordan Neely.
Did y'all catch how I forget what newspaper it is, but it was like, oh, the prior arrest of Neely, right? And then the recent white shooter, who I can't think of his name. His same newspaper, but his title was like getting to know or the past of this person, as in trying to paint him as a victim. And it doesn't just stop there. If you go through and look at it, everything that is touched by color is always perceived as, always painted as, this is why this person deserved it. Because even then, the Marine didn't know that this man had prior arrest. The people who witnessed it said that this man was just talking about him being hungry and wanting food. He wasn't attacking anyone, nothing. And you came up behind this man and decided to choke him out. Not only that, you held the chokehold when he got limp until he got limp. And then you kept holding it.
Minutes.
See, that's the shit that I be like, what the fuck is wrong with y'all? Like, I get the whole point of you restraining somebody, but once they're at the point where they're begging for their life, where there's like submission, let go. Like, why are you so dead bent on like cutting off somebody's life?
But even like when I look at this, I'm like, but no one else wanted to jump in. No one else wanted to be like, hey, yo, get off him. Yeah, or like no,
right here.
So you know,
because he would have got stopped. I would.
I'll be trying not to think that people really are like this in real life, because when I see crazy shit,
I've never experienced.
But listen, when I see crazy shit, I always see people like, hey, like, you know, like, you know what I mean, speaking up. But it's so many times we see these viral clips and people just be paying it. I just be like, damn, ain't nobody do nothing. That's really scary.
What did Maya say? What did Maya say? When someone shows you who they are, believe them.
Okay.
I can't fathom just standing there like George Floyd, like you got your knee on this bitch neck and you just sitting there. He's like, oh, I can't breathe. Mama, help me. Like, bitch, get your ass off here.
But the reason why is because when it comes to police who have guns, if you don't move as a unit, you can't move alone.
But
when it comes to people who are not, go ahead.
Every video that we have seen with this type of situation, it's always been a crowd of people there. And I'm just like, Table, I'm confused. I'm like, so y'all just standing there?
But see, then that first person moves out and he gets shot. Then what?
Well, I mean, we're talking about the situation with the police. I think it's completely different.
more so. But when it comes to that guy, when it comes to the Marine,
another person, like, you see what I'm saying?
Then
like, even if
he's not armed.
A fight, now I don't break up fights, but even if I'm watching a fight and it's starting to get like bad to the point where it's like, okay, this person's not, they're done. I would at least be like, hey, yo, like, this is, you know what I'm saying, like, chill, you know, blah blah blah. Or
like, you got it, like, back off.
Way before. It's no shit. I don't even watch fights. Like, I just think that's just so like childish. So I don't know, because honestly, these days I probably wouldn't be there, to be honest. Y'all start fighting, I'm leaving. I promise y'all fucking leaving. Y'all doing some crazy shit, bitch. I'm out. I gotta go.
No, see, I'm getting involved.
I have my car. I'm leaving. It's no tea. So I don't know. I don't even know if I would see some shit like that.
See, but when it comes to fights, and I'm gonna paint myself as a bad person. You
watch.
Shut up. No, I get involved.
Oh yes, you gonna run to the fight?
I get involved. So if I see like you're fighting someone and you're like, and they're losing, like you got it, it's clear. I'm gonna step in and be like, okay, yo, I might yank you up, like, okay, yo, let him go. Mm-hmm. It's over, it's done. But in the sense of the Marine choking that man out, I'm gonna walk over and be like, yo, I'm gonna tap you first, let him go. He's limp. Let him go. He's not doing anything. If you don't respond, I'm gonna swing on you. Now you have to fight me too.
I know people who like that, because I've seen that happen before. And they swung like, yo, let him go. Let him go. Like, you know what I'm saying? And the person eventually let go. So that's what I'm saying. Like, in my mind, I'll be trying to wrap my head around this shit. And I'm like, damn, like, people, is shit really like that these days? Because that's crazy. I have yet to experience that shit. I hope I don't. I really hope nobody don't fuck me up and y'all sit around and record my death. I am going to be over. That is... Girl, and now it's viral.
Girl, one thing you'll never have to worry about. One thing you never have to worry about, Taboo. If someone reached for you and I'm in that area, they will be snatched up before they touch you.
No, it's no tea. I don't know. Maybe it's just because where I come from. But I'm a skittish little bitch. Like, I highly doubt if a bitch could get one up on me like that in a public setting. And the way I respond to shit, I'm everybody problem at that point. The whole cart probably is gonna jump me, because bitch, I'm going bananas at that point. Like, get the fuck off me. I'm body slam. I'm running backwards on him. I'm doing whatever. Okay, at that point, I'm going fucking nuts. We're all getting fucked up. That's how I feel. So I don't know. and I don't watch those kind of viral clips and stuff. So I actually haven't seen it. I don't want to see it. I don't take no type
I've
of.
seen a small portion of it.
Yeah, I'm
And
not gonna watch
just
it.
sitting there like, because I have the clip, I have that clip, I have the George Floyd clip, and I'm just like,
But
each one.
why is it because you're like in the media journalism?
Yeah, I'm a media person, so yeah,
Mhm.
you know.
Okay.
No, I watch the clip because I'm looking for the tell signs. Like what signs do all of them have that escalate the situation, if that makes sense? So I can step in before it gets to that point. Like with the police officers, if a police officer walks up on someone with their hand on the gun, I already know right then, okay, I got to stop and watch and make sure this person is good.
Right. I mean, that's a little bit different, but I'm just saying the police is a whole different beast.
Yeah,
We're
because
talking about just citizen on citizen bullshit.
and then
The type of person I am, when some shit is going down, I've been around way too many shootouts and way too many motherfuckers just shooting, and like I don't stick around. Like I'm just not. I'm a very bitch. I'll run. Like I'm out.
And now that Florida has that, you can carry with you can conceal and carry without having a license.
Yeah, so me in my mind, like if I see two motherfuckers going at it or some crazy shit going down, I don't really try to stick around to like see whatever injustice is about to play out. Like I'm not doing that. If it's a cop, now I do understand that. I do kind of like give a little, you all right, just on the strength of you a cop. And I know that person is a complete victim right now.
Public servant.
Whatever you do. Whatever you decide to do to them, it's just done to them. Because you're a cop. So I would like to, play a part in helping somebody get, some type of justice or whatever. But as far as like people fighting and shit, child, I'm out my fucking business, girl. They ain't got shit to do with me.
Okay, so let's do this because we got some good questions, and I want to get to this one right here. Kansas GOP bill authorizes genital exams for children. The Kansas state legislature has passed a ban on transgender students participating in female categories in school and college sports after overriding a veto by the state's Democratic governor. Laura Kelly had rejected the bill dubbed the Fairness in Women's Sports Act on March 17th, as well as two previous attempts at similar legislations. Republican lawmakers who introduced the legislation suggested that it would be enforced during physical examination, which critics have taken to mean genital inspection.
Y'all sick fucking freaks is not looking at my child's genitalia. I don't give a fuck how y'all feel about men and fucking sports. Y'all not looking at my child's genitalia, period. And that's just how I feel. And I hope every other parent feels the same way, because that's some bogus ass shit. Y'all worried about gays and trannies and all transgender, excuse me. Because I'm offensive ass bitch.
I'm gonna say,
I'm sorry, my bad. I love y'all.
Girls.
Okay, I want to sisters too, sis. Okay, okay. Ooh, don't attack me. Okay, my bad. I'm a little filthy mouth. But y'all worried about them? Attacking people and shit. Like, girl. Here's my thing. I feel like if you're trans and you're wanting to do sports and stuff like that, you have to go into it with the consideration of knowing the biological differences between men and women. And I feel like me talking to my child, because a lot of these situations I'm looking at it from a parent's point of view, because obviously I'm not a child no more, so it don't affect me. But me talking to my child, I would have to explain to them about how the perception is, and depending on where they're at in their transition, honestly, I really don't even know how I feel about the trans and sports thing.
I'm gonna come in here with these.
But before you start on that, I have mixed opinions. You understand what I'm saying? I feel like if you at the start of your transition, you're trying it. That's just how I feel. You're trying it. It's no shame. Like, I really feel like you're trying it. If you're going through a male puberty, you're going to be stronger than a girl. That's just that. They're trying it. Now, if you're moaned out, if you started school, and I hate to have to be like this because this is like, passing privilege, all that stuff like this. It hampers back to a lot of other different issues. But if you're moaned out, you cunty down, and you play tennis or something like that, but you a fox, honey. Nobody knows. Brother, mother, sister, nobody knows. And you come into school like that, you living your life and stuff like that, you doing your thing, and you're my daughter, and this is how you present to the world, and that's just that, and that's how I'm taking it. If you're playing tennis or something like that, and you let the girl play. It's no shade. Y'all not checking my child's genitalia at all. And I hope every parent feels like that because y'all so worried about predators coming from this direction. Y'all not even looking. They're creating a whole system to be predators on your children. So even though my views on athleticism and men and women and trans men and trans women it's a big convoluted thing because honestly it's not a very cut and dry pace thing.
No.
But at the end of the day, the protection of my child is what matters the most. And before y'all make little Georgia upset, I don't know why her name is Georgia. Before y'all make little Georgia, you know what I'm saying, traumatized for the rest of her life because y'all want to fondle her bits. Bitch, I will raise all types of hell. Bitch, that's weird to me. That's fucking weird. And the fact that they even put that in the bill. You get me? That's the part where I'm like, people need to wake the fuck up. Y'all looking at the wrong enemy.
And see, that's what I keep looking at too. I'm just like, why do y'all want to take it that far where y'all want to inspect whether it's a male or female or not? Now, here's the thing. I have seen, it's been in the news where this one white boy, he's big, broad shoulders, big as shit. He want to play female sports. Now, again, how we talking to private, typically it's not politically correct when we say this shit out in the open, right? Or on platforms. Because when we look at this shit, we're going to be like, now that big nigga know he shouldn't have been out there doing that bullshit right there. Why the fuck he out there? I mean, we say this shit in the private, right? And I feel like Taboo too. Like there are some transgender females who are small, cunty, everything.
But you don't really want to play that game because then you kind of like it's different types of girls too.
Yeah, it's passing girls, right?
But see, you don't want to. You don't want to bring that up. That's what I'm saying. Like taboo.
Yeah, like you don't want to play that game because to be honest, I'll see some masculine ass biological women who really honestly, girl, the young little transitioning little cupcakes that I've seen popped out the oven. They look like they could be their older brother. Like I've seen some really manly butch girls in my lifetime.
And these transgender men
of the passability game. However, if we're talking about sports and someone having an advantage and things being manipulated, I have to be real with actual reality.
I'm gonna take myself.
I have to think about things on a context of, unfortunately, somebody abusing certain aspects of life. And that's one of them. If me, a very athletic, well, I'm not athletic, but give me an athletic person. All right, a very seemingly athletic person decides that I'm transitioning tomorrow and I'm not going to stop playing tennis.
Bruce Jenner?
It is what it is. You clearly, sis, there's a lot that you can do with your backflipping and your handstands and all the things that the upper body strength has. I don't see too many girls jumping around doing that. It's no shade. So if you in the 9th grade or 10th grade and you say, okay, fuck it, I'm transitioning. I'm a woman now. I'm going to respect you as such. I'm going to let you transition. But, niece, I got to be honest with you. Like, girl, you got to.
So,
like, there's a rule.
There's a rule. There's a rule that's out now in a lot of. It's not it's out now in major sporting like NCAA and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. You have to be your hormone levels, like your estrogen and your testosterone, have to be matching with whoever you're playing for.
Mm-hmm.
So if you are a trans woman, your estrogen has to be at the same level as estrogen for a woman, and your testosterone has to be as low as a woman. But here's the gag.
Mm-hmm.
In that same sense, I believe it was three African women got kicked out of the Olympics because their testosterone was naturally high.
And one of them is like low-key intersex. She got like testicles inside of her body or whatever. And they're trying to say she's a man. Mind you, she has the woman parts. Like she's yeah, like she's intersex. She looks very, kind of butchy. That's because she has the testes in her body and it's giving her testosterone. So they're saying that she's not trans, she's intersex, but they're saying that she's along that aspect too, and they're trying to kick her out the track. So,
let's ask this question. So what do you do about those individuals that are born with both and this is natural for them? Because
let me finish, because I'm gonna touch on that. So going with the kids, let me start there. Going with the kids, the genital expressions, fuck no. Ain't no way in fucking hell, especially in Kansas when they have 38 plus teachers within the last 2 years be arrested for sexual assault. Fuck no. You're not expecting my child at all. But as if my child is transitioning, if you're not, the rule for NCA, why I brought that up, the rule is that like the hormones have to match. I feel like if your hormones don't match at that young age, you should not be, you can't, I'm sorry, but you cannot play those sports, especially if they're contact sports, or relying on power.
The thing that they say in sports science is that when you generate certain like connective tissues through a male puberty, it gives you somewhat of an advantage. However, on the flip side to that, because I've actually done some research on this as well, there's variation across
the board.
Across the board, because different demographics. In actuality, Black people on average have higher bone density than someone who's Caucasian. And if we're going by like bone density and all that bullshit, I feel like that's like a real slippery slope, because what happens when you find out that most of the athletes that are, doing whatever sport that they're doing, Black people are dominating in track, let's use that for example, is because they have these special adaptations that we have no control over. And that goes back to Miss Thing, who's the intersex woman. She has no control over that.
And then so
and I hold on. And I think when we talk about intersex people specifically, we have to be very, very careful about delving into that, because in my mind, that's kind of really discriminatory, because it's like, well, I have all the parts you're looking for. It's not like, what at that point, what do y'all want me to do? Not be me? I guess that's the argument for the trans women as well, too. They're like, well, girl, we want to be us, too.
So,
we want to play basketball. So why do I slam dunk? And I'm 6'9". So
there are men.
Tall girls.
There are men who don't produce as much testosterone, and they produce a lot of estrogen, but they still look like men and all this other stuff. So it's like you can't. The reason why they put that rule out is because it was their way of trying to like limit whatever. And now it's affecting biological women as well, who produce more testosterone than normal. Not even intersex, just actually biological women who don't. But going back to actual trans people, there's Mark Beggs is a wrestler who started transitioning. At 18, he won the Texas Girls title. Mark Beggs was born a female, started transitioning and started taking testosterone and wanted to wrestle with the boys. The school and the state said, no, you're a female, so you wrestle with the females. Dominated and won the title real easy. So won that title. Right. I saw the video and I was like, this is unfair. Y'all playing in people's faces.
What's his name? I gotta look up one of his clips.
Mark Beggs, MACK BEGGS. Mark Beggs.
I'm petty as shit.
But that's the second time they made this boy do that, and he wanted to wrestle with the biological boys.
Wait, what's the last name?
Beggs, BEGGS.
We some petty ass bitches.
Right.
But he wanted to wrestle with the boys, and the state said no.
Oh, he cute.
Wait, I can't find them. MAC.
MACK
Oh man,
I mean, he giving boy.
and they would not
he
let
is a
him
boy.
wrestle. They would not let him wrestle with the biological boys.
Come on, you better go off with her.
So, and then bringing up the trans Leah Thomas, who won the swimming thing. A lot of arguments were, she has an advantage, yada yada yada, but she only won one race. She lost every other race going against biological females.
Yeah, I seen that.
No one says anything about Black people like Tabu said, but also about Michael Phelps, who doesn't produce a lot of lactic acid, which makes you tired out over a long period of time. He also has webbed fingers when it comes to swimming.
What kind of freaky ass shit?
Right. So yeah, look
he
it
has
up.
He has fingers and all these other freaky. Like he's just born to be a fish, basically.
Yeah, he produces less lactic acid in your muscles. So not you pulling up the clip, girl. That is a man. And they made him wrestle. Okay. They made him wrestle with the girls.
I'll be so fucking mad if I was wrestling his ass.
I would.
That is a man, y'all. Get him out of here. He better not, girl. I want to see him wrestle.
So, but I say this as because as kids, sure, you can pilot that water when it comes to like if they actually have an advantage. But when it comes to adults, it's a whole different thing because there are, first of all, the hormone spectrum is so vast when it comes to actual like building a muscle and the body itself. But you can't put someone like him who's taking testosterone up against girls. You can't do that. And then Leah Thomas, her time dropped minutes from when she was male to when she transitioned. She waited 2 years to allow, because the rule is you have to be 2 years into your transition, as not like in your like as hormone therapy required.
So is that the rule? Like,
yes. So
on an international standard, like as far as Olympics and stuff is concerned.
Yes. So as far as like
why can't the schools just adopt that as well?
That's what I'm saying. They won't. And it's like, because people, even with Leah Thomas, when she won, they threw a big fit about it. And the people came out and said, no, we have rules. She fit within the parameters. She produced the correct testosterone. I mean, the lowest percentage of testosterone and had the highest estrogen to meet with women. Mm-hmm. That's why she was able to compete.
Trans women actually sometimes be having higher estrogen levels than fucking women.
So that like that's their standard. Why can't you just move that down to schools? That's fine. Like your child has to understand that. But he was 18 in high school. So he started his transition while he was in school and wanted to wrestle. Once he started taking hormones, he wanted to wrestle with the boys. And they would not let him because he was born female.
That's crazy.
So
that as a woman would piss me the fuck off. Bitch, like, right. Girl,
So now we're at the point.
Titties. Get him out of here. He do not belong over here, ma'am. Get him away from me.
Oh, I do see where they got him wrestling with a female. That's crazy.
So it's like, should, bitch. Get him to taste their own medicine. I hope he was clearing bitches.
He was in seconds.
I hope he was. Whoosh! Get out of here, bitch. Like,
right. And I mean, like over the shoulder, over the back, medicine. Throwing people down. I was like, now y'all look at that.
Fab. Come on, young man.
Ain't no way. Girl. Couldn't be me. So it's like y'all trying to navigate these waters, and you're not the people who are actually putting in the work and looking at biology and stuff like that are saying, okay, 2 years into your hormone transition, you have to have a certain height when it comes to hormones. So if you're a trans man, you have to have a certain testosterone level and a low estrogen level. If you're a trans woman, you have to have a high estrogen level and a certain.
Well, can we put that on to kids? Because honestly, in school, they're only there for 4 years. So if you gotta wait 2 years, which does have your school life, that's 2 years you weren't on the team. 2 years, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but you have to explain that they have an advantage in certain sports. That
Okay.
there's no denying that. Like that. But once hormone therapy happens, your body dramatically loses its muscle and
You
everything
need
like
to
that. Like
break down, daughter. You need to break down.
even Leah Thomas was like, she lost so much weight and she gained so much fat and she lost over minutes away from her time. Her best time as a transitioned woman is literally a minute or so away from the actual world record or record set by actual women. Like she's nowhere near the record setting level. And no trans person has a championship or title or Olympic win like that. Like Leah Thomas' win is small.
And that's always the argument that I use. Like when I have conversations maybe with like straight family members or whatever, and they bring we on this topic, I always talk about the fact that there has always been transgender athletes. That's not a new thing. That has been going on for quite some time. And I know this because I know gay history. So me knowing this and knowing that there's no gold, silver, like these people don't make it to the Olympics, so and they're there. So how much of an advantage is it really? Because
if trans people were clearing these stages out, we would see actual world champions.
Yeah, and we just don't see that.
No.
And if the number of trans people is so small, the reason why we're not seeing it really isn't that much of an issue then anyway, obviously. Because if by statistics, if someone would counter and say, well, there aren't that many trans people that are playing sports or whatever the case may be, but the ones that are clearing it, blah, 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 blah. I would still have to go back to, well, girl, it ain't that much of a fucking problem then. If they ain't making it nowhere, if they're not really dominating like that, if we not seeing world champion after world champion after world champion, then what's the problem?
So I think it popped up when the two trans women were running a track meet and one won a race and got a scholarship, and the biological woman behind him did not get a scholarship. That's when everything hit the fan. They were like, "Oh, it's an advantage, yada yada yada." But these are people that were still in school. Like they weren't put under the same rules as the 2-year transition, and that's why I was like, so then adopt down that rule.
I have to strongly stand on the now. Maybe I should just shut the fuck up.
No, honestly, because I agree with you. If I agree with you in the sense of if they're in school and they are transitioning and they are not taking their hormones that affect they should not be.
I feel like if you feel like you are a woman and you were born as anything other than a biological woman, then you're a transgender. However that experience runs for you, you can be a whatever the fuck I am, and okay, move however freely you want to. You can be, this when you wake up, this when you go, whatever the fuck you want to be, daughter, you can be. But for me, I feel like there's a difference between someone who's transgender and someone who's a trans woman who's trying to live in that woman's space with medical and surgical, enhancements and things like that. Personally, I feel like, if you're going to sit in the same room with my sister and feel like, you fish, you need to have some estrogen in your body.
Yes.
No tea. That's just how I feel.
I'm gonna step in real quick and just say, listen.
However, let me add to that before you start. I do realize that is something that I'm actively trying to expand my mind outside of, because the more and more I become closer to trans women and to the trans community and more trans related experiences, the more I'm learning about how different women navigate through space. Like there's a couple of trans women who I think are real as hell, womanly down, and bitch, they don't moan. They just cut.
You said they don't moan.
They do not moan. And my mind has to accept the fact that there is variation within gender, there's variation within sex, there's variation among trans women, there's variation among women. You know, everybody's journey is different. So when we try to create all these blanket solutions,
Correct.
I always have to go back to the fact that me, I only speak for myself. I grew up one way. I was conditioned one way. I'm expanding my mind and I'm growing and learning along with the rest of the world. And I feel like everybody should have the tolerance and patience to try to learn from one another. But, you know, it's too much gray area for all this shit to be so definite on one thing. I feel like everything's potential, to be honest.
I want to say to people who are watching and straight people who are watching, there are actually, because everyone says XX and X, right? XX and XY chromosome combination, which makes male and female, but there are actually over 23 different variations.
Yeah, it's like 30, bitch. Like,
right. There are over 23 variations that affect both genitalia formation and how your body produces the hormones that create your body. So someone like me, who I have the typical variation, I produce how normally some people would produce. I know someone who's born female who does not produce estrogen at all, grows facial hair, produces testosterone, grows facial, has not taken any hormones whatsoever. Born female, vagina, all of that, but grows facial hair, builds muscle as if they were male. So it's like,
so where's like coming from, bro? Because that's what I want to know. Is there what's down there?
So so the way her body produces testosterone is like the intersex woman.
But she has internal testes.
Yeah, but in that same sense, it's like you guys know that intersex people exist. That right there should tell you, okay, we can't make this rule just this.
Yeah.
But hey,
like I said, there's variation. I think everything should be handled case by case. I think it's very to haphazardly make all these laws. I think it's very limiting, and it's going to fall apart eventually because someone's going to come along who doesn't necessarily fit in all those different spectrums. I think we have to understand that gender and sexuality, all these different things, are a healthy spectrum. We're going to find people that are all along that in different variations, and I think we should deal with them accordingly and not really create any ground, one rule for everybody kind of thing. You know what I'm saying? Because what happens when a bitch is very, intersex, and she might present as male, but she has the materials to produce testosterone and all those different things. So she might really present as male, but biologically, she's female.
And that's why the other two that were removed were actually biologically female. They just produced a lot of testosterone.
But no, what I'm saying is, she can identify as a woman, come to school, but just be brolic as shit and carrying on bitches. Like, I feel like there has to be like some type of consideration for variation when people are addressing these.
Oh yeah, no, I'm talking about the other. You know how I said there was 3 that were removed. The other 2 were biologically women. Like they were, they have ovaries and everything. They just produce a lot of testosterone, more than the level required.
Like natural.
Yeah, they were Aretha Franklin natural woman, and they produced more. They produced more testosterone, and they got removed. They got kicked out.
Damn.
So, yeah, it has to be case by case.
So since
I mean, okay, let's have a conversation. Is that an unfair advantage? No, thing, because it's basically
because if it
time out, time the fuck out, time out, and it's no shade. They don't allow for people to dope, right? Which is synthetic testosterone. Mm-hmm. So you mean to tell me this bitch produced testosterone and I gotta play against her? Oh hell no! Put her with the niggas. No shit. No. Get her the fuck up out of here.
No,
or let me take some androgenines. Because
I see it as if my body naturally if I fit that, you're like, they're like you're female, but you present more, you give off more testosterone in your body. I'm like, well, that's not my fucking fault.
Yeah,
I didn't. Nope. I didn't pick my DNA. No. Hell no.
Miss
Y'all.
DNA.
God gave y'all the short stick, bitch. Deal with it. God gave y'all the short stick, bitch. Deal with it. Y'all wanted to compete. Now you got to compete.
Real life is so fucking fierce. That real life is so fucking fierce because
nature said what?
that is carrying. Can you imagine?
You getting the block. You about to run a race.
Can you imagine, like, as a woman to woman, can you imagine?
You getting the blocks.
You're coming out for tennis.
Woo!
And Broccoli should come out, girl, and she's just bitch. Serena on 10.
Sharkeisha, no.
Woo! Bitch, okay?
But there are some girls who like it,
flaming, bitch. With some fucking Mario shit. Like, girl.
There are some girls who are like that. They're a female, but they just
very over about the situation.
but I don't like I see it as when it comes to the drug thing, if you're injecting it, it's not fair.
Yeah.
But if your body normally produces it,
that's not fair either, girl. Get out of here.
No,
I'm upset. I'm right. I don't want to play tennis anymore. It's too big.
It's like saying I'm 6'1", and if a nigga who runs my race is like 5'3", I have an advantage because my legs are longer.
But you know what? Yeah, that's all I say. But you know what? Because bitch, I always was short and proportioned weird, so I was never good at sports. And I just felt like naturally it just wasn't for me. So don't shade. Some people just need to understand, girl. It just wasn't for you, girl. Like these bitches out here producing testosterone naturally. It just wasn't
right.
For you.
I mean, but then you got to consider sometimes it's the food too.
I don't know. Now I have a theory. I feel like it's all this autism and transgenderness because, girl, all this damn hormones in this damn food, girl. So y'all worry about the damn hormones, bitches going to go buy, girl.
Clean it up.
Hormones in the food, okay? Girl, why do I look like this?
That's why you got it. That's why when you go to the mall and someone approach you, got to ID niggas.
Okay.
Hold up. Let me see that ID.
You.
It don't make no sense in hell, girl. Chicken turn bodies into this. Okay, it don't make no sense, bro. That's hormones.
You got a whole chest cause some chickens.
Yeah,
and a full beard at 12.
This is homegrown, honey. This is all homegrown sexy. Okay.
We gonna get demonetized.
That's the private show. Join me on my OnlyFans. What's up? Don't say.
Okay, so listen. I got a question. So, for what are some safe spaces for LGBTQ individuals? And since you all are from Ballroom, well, I'm Ballroom now too. Since you all are from the Ballroom world, do you think recent laws that are anti-LGBTQ, do you think they have a rippling effect on Ballroom? Or will have a rippling effect?
Let me speak on it having an effect on Ballroom. Anything that happens within the atmosphere, the LGBTQ, whatever, LMNOP atmosphere, affects Ballroom. Ballroom is basically created out of us having shit going on in the atmosphere of gayness. You understand what I'm saying? Ballroom is designed to be a safe space. It may not be the safest of spaces, but it was designed to be salvation from those type of environments. So I can see the more oppression that we're being faced in different areas, the more people coming over to Ballroom for that salvation. Because I can see the scene growing. I don't know if that's a good or bad thing, but I can see that happening. Obviously, look at where it's at today in media and how it's assimilated into mainstream culture now. You understand what I'm saying? To Beyonce voguing. So I can see that being integrated into a sense of normalcy and people coming here for this sense of own normalcy. But I don't think it got too much effect on like us directly. Maybe in a sense when it comes down to like healthcare, because that is something that obviously affects us, and it'll. Well, I mean, no shade. Now that I'm thinking about it, yeah. When you got a little abstract view to it, no shade. Like The shit they do really do affect us in all different types of ways.
So my thing is with the drag bill, it states that if a police officer sees you or if someone sees you, they can report you if they believe that you are dressing as the sex you were not born. So now I fear for.
Wait, what?
Yeah. So if say if I go out in like a dress, right, and a man sees me, or
get my ass, bitch.
right, or a police officer sees me, and it's in public. So I fear for my girls who are going to the ball, and they get not even clocked.
Wait. You mentioned this? Why I feel like it's the first time I'm hearing this.
So let me explain. The drag bill that have been passing now, the harshest one is daytime drag, basically.
Where is this at?
I believe it is Tennessee, not Tennessee. No, I think it is Tennessee or Kansas. One of the two.
Tennessee.
I was never going there for a fucking ball anyway.
So, but here's the thing: Florida might adopt it.
Girl, they
get the census out of there now.
They are going to cook my ass.
So the T in that. The T in that is if someone clocks you and or thinks that you are not dressing as the gender that you are born as, they can report you, and you can be arrested for it. It's indecency in front of in public and as in front of minors. I fear for my girls who aren't as passing. Yeah, in Tennessee, it's passed. Several states actually. Yeah.
So if I take my trainee ass to fucking Tennessee, girl, they're gonna cook me. I'm going to jail.
Right. If you get clocked, yeah.
I'm a rack of biscuits, baby.
Right.
Round and turn over, honey. I am done.
You are baby back ribs in prison.
Baby.
So that right there, of course, the healthcare thing, obviously, because I mean, the healthcare needs are different for. Girl, I can't believe. I can't believe you didn't know that.
I feel like bitches is out to get me now. I know for sure they is really out to get me, girl. You mean to tell me I can't wear my minis to the fucking store no more?
And those so the people
I like to slide in, girl. I can't wear those.
So people are saying
my rats, my house walls, girl, my tights,
the people are saying
my
that
bras, my panties.
Does that extend?
Girl, they gonna get me, girl.
You better say you're a bald-headed African woman.
I'm cooked. They gonna get me, girl. Girl, they gonna get me, girl. Girl, I am cooked, honey. They is going to get me.
Wait, so
girl, since you're not going to jail, but I'm going to jail, honey.
They it's got so bad to the point that Germany and other our outside siblings, like the outside nations, are warning their LGBT people not to come to the US. That's how bad it is.
I'm gagging. How is this all shit? Yo.
So the drag.
I don't understand. They're passing all these laws, but meanwhile, it's like these people are still being called out for their bullshit. Like all of these Republicans are being called. I mean, one of the next question is the narrative about drag queens reading to kids. Like these are being called out because they used to cross dress.
But even then, think about it. So drag reading to kids was in public libraries, meaning an adult had to be like, okay, I'm gonna take my child to sit there. And my whole thing is they are making a big ass stink about the whole teaching what was being taught in schools because they thought I'm the parent, so I should have control of what my child learns. Well, I'm the parent and I'm okay with my kid being read to by a drag queen. Why do you get to step in and stop me from having that choice? But I have to go by everything else you say. Same thing. I don't know if you guys saw the address that just happened, the presidential something, where the comedian Roy was like, stop saying that drag queens are trying to groom your kids, yada yada yada. And if they are, it doesn't matter because now because they'll be shot in school anyway. And then everyone groaned, and he was like, the thing is, y'all aren't passing legislation on things that are actually hurting the kids. The highest number, the highest death count to have is guns for children. You're not banning that. You're not, because that's what you want. But when it comes to the drag bill, you're like, these people can't read to kids. You cannot be in drag in, I think it's a mile or two of an actual school or a place where kids reside. So if you get clocked anywhere within that realm, or in general, you can be reported, and it's prison time. So yeah, so it's like, so now I'm worried about my girls who are going to the ball. I'm worried about their health care. I'm worried about now I'm gonna have to stand up as a gay man who does not have to face that directly. I have to now step out and be a shield for the trans women and the drags that are in my community. Like, I feel like these laws aren't gonna affect so much the ballroom in our fun, but in their daily lives and us getting to that safe space, we now have to travel and dodge obstacles to get there.
Well, just for the record, I just want to let everyone know I'm still going to wear my bras and my panties and my wigs, and I'm still going to wear that mini skirts. I'm also going to wear those tights, and I'm still going to wear that lipstick. So, yeah. Don't plan on unfagging for the government. So, yeah.
Period. But
I'll be going to jail. You guys will have to write me from jail because there's no tea. I'm paying it completely. I don't give a fuck where your kids are at. There's no shade. You gotta explain that shit to them, not me. I don't give a fuck. Fuck y'all kids.
And then
no shade.
DeSantis said, because they did drag shows for children, and they do like children's shows and stuff like children's songs like Let It Go and stuff like that. For kids, and you as a parent, you can bring your child there to watch the show. DeSantis in DeSantis's law, you could, if an establishment offers that, you could lose your liquor license, which is the license where most people make their most money from. So basically, he's trying to tear you down so you don't make money, so your business closes.
So Vodou, I want to ask this question because the videos that I've been seeing on the internet and on the news where they're trying to say that, some of the drag performers, they're doing all these provocative things. Now, me personally, I have never, and it's just me. And I went to Hamburger Mary's in Jacksonville, and even there, I saw one person bring a child they brought the child for the birthday. But even then, I didn't see them doing anything provocative. But I mean, any other drag show, I mean, we know what it gives. But
that's it.
I've never seen a drag performance. Well, okay, let me just say it like this, because I'm trying to get my thought together. Why would a drag performer do that type of performance in front of children? It's giving planted to me, because if you know that you're performing in front of children,
here's the thing. Drag people who do drag grew up in the queer diaspora. They grew up being bullied and being like this and that and the third. There's no way that they're going to do that in front of a child, knowing what a lot of them have gone through.
Right.
So I think people who are making these laws are thinking about drag shows in nightclubs where it is 18 and up to get in, where you have to be 21 to drink. Those drag shows are for adults. Anything geared for children will be child appropriate. One of the Democratic opposers to this bill was like, have any of you ever gone to a child approved drag show? And the answer across the consensus was no. They asked, have you ever been to a drag show in general? The answer across the consensus, but 3 people, was no. So you're not even in these spaces.
You don't even know nothing about it.
Right. And you're passing these laws.
Well, hold on. Don't Republicans do that all the time? Make laws and a bunch of shit they ain't got no experience with?
Right. And that's
they're over here passing bills about, abortion,
women's bodies.
Like that. Yeah.
Right.
So
that's old rich white men.
But pertaining to us, that's a thing. And then pertaining to the women thing about the abortion, it's giving very much, you're saying no, but your mistresses who are having these children that you keep taking abortions to, because 17 of y'all got called out for it by the mistresses. Y'all are gooped and gagged because now you're going to go to a blue state and have that abortion done.
Well, honestly, all this shit is propaganda, and it's all a reason.
Yeah,
for them to
it's a grab because they're losing their foothold.
They don't have any real policies to actually fix the real issues. Because I promise you, when you talk to people, no one gives a fuck about drag queens reading books to children. Nobody cares about that. What we care about is how fucking eggs was like $9 like 3 months ago.
Why the minimum wage isn't not going up, but housing is.
That's what the fuck we care about. Or the fact that the average person be owing like 70 fucking grand in debt from fucking going to school. That's the shit we care about. Nobody gives a fuck about transgender women in the bathroom and kids getting read books to. Like, once again, just like black people, gay people are being the scapegoat. And it fucking sucks being black and gay because it's like, girl, you get double targets, honey. Now I can't talk about my culture. I can't talk. You said what?
Regarding to what you just said about the money situation and what we actually care about, did you know that several states decided to up their pay as in Senate and House representative, but canceled the minimum wage up?
Yeah, I believe
so
they
okayed them getting more money.
The people that are in office are career politicians. They make their money off of being politicians. So they're going to try to be politicians for as long as possible, and they're going to try to get as much money as possible from out of being a politician. So that, again, doesn't surprise me. As a matter of fact, if I was a politician, I'd probably vote for the shit too. Just for the simple fact that this is my job. I don't have a problem with you trying to give yourself more money. Give me more money. That's all. That's all.
They blocked that. Yeah, they blocked it. They said no.
No, I get that part, but this is my criticism. Like, y'all can give yourselves more money. I don't care. But give me more money. That's all. I want some money too.
I'm trying to be like Clarence Thomas. I'm trying to be like Clarence Thomas and get a billionaire to pay for my mom's house and fly me out places. The Supreme Court judge.
His fucking trifling ass. His white wife. You know, let me not get started.
Girl.
Y'all don't get started. Okay, let me not get started on the interracial girls, okay?
What I do want to say is because we have went through all the questions and everything, and I have enjoyed all of this. I think we can probably do it again, but
okay,
what is like something that you want to leave with the people? Thoughts? Where can they find you at? What you got going on? Because I know, listen, the ballroom calendar is long as fuck. You hear me? Mm-hmm. I saw it the other day, 2 weeks ago, when I was in Fort Lauderdale for the Kiki Ball. I was like, damn.
And they try to ball every weekend.
Yeah. Right.
Somewhere.
A 4-hour drive, a 6-hour drive, an 8-hour drive, a 2-hour drive. You can be at a ball.
Somewhere there's a ball, baby. Okay. You don't mind flying?
Follow the glitter. Follow the glitter.
You can walk a ball every weekend for the entire year.
So, y'all can find me at Vodou Revlon on Instagram, VODOU_REVLON. You know, I'm trying this. I'm not only in the ballroom scene, I'm also a battler and the dance scene as well. My whole thing right now, what I'm trying to do, there's this big push within the dance scene that voguing is not an actual dance style, which is a lie. So me and a lot of I'm trying to get some of the ballroom girls to not jump shit, but go over there and show them that it is. I've been, for the past 10 years, I've been ripping battlers left and right from state to state.
What do it mean is that dance style?
They're saying that it's not exactly that. It's not a real dance.
So then what is it? So what do you think?
That's what I said. That's what I said. I was like, so
videos. What do you think they're doing? What do you think they're doing?
Go. There's an Instagram called Stance.
And moving on the beat.
Right. There's an Instagram. There's an Instagram called Stance.
What do you think they're doing there?
Their comments even if you go to Stance and look up because Riley Prodigy and Yummy were in a battle just recently, and there were people under those comments saying that the when Starfire did Red Bull, there are people under their comments saying that, and the gag is the people who are saying this I've already beaten with this style.
Maybe that's why they feel like it's not a dance style. Because
not her cutting out.
No, somebody was calling me, girl. They know I'm alive. Y'all are so fucking Judy.
But yeah, so like as a dancer, I'm trying what I'm pertaining to now. Like, I teach every now and then. I'm training the girls, the next generation that's coming into ballroom. I'm getting to my 11th year mark in ballroom and my 12th year mark in
oh my
the
god,
battle
bitch
scene.
is old.
Girl, shut up. I started right after high school. Don't do me.
I just got into it, so
okay, that pussy old, that pussy creaky.
Girl, they got rejuvenation for a reason.
Okay, you better rejuvenate. Honey, I'm in the gym right now trying to rejuvenate. Trying to get that old thing back, okay? So I can come back out for one last time.
Girl.
I see everybody, okay? Y'all outside, bitch. All my girlfriends legends. Like, girl, Tabu, do something, girl. Do something. They whooping your ass, girl. Do something. So, child, I'm in the gym.
You better dip on the other leg.
You said what?
Dip on that other ankle.
I mean, I don't know if I'm going to ever come back to performance. Honestly, this is more like a health journey kind of thing. I tell myself that, I'm going to get skinny and I'm going to be able to bounce around and be 25 again. So, maybe. But it's no tea, like, girl, if the ankle is not ankling this thing, girl, I'd rather be able to have a functional ankle than trying to impress you bitches. So, girl, I'll clip it. If performance ain't for me, honey, it ain't for me, girl. Maybe that's somebody else's legacy. Luckily, and I guess this is the part where I plug myself in. Luckily, I have a great voice, and, people find me very entertaining. So, that has kind of picked up and made it for me for ballroom. And I didn't ballroom for quite some time, too. And I like to be recognized for all my shit that I do. I feel like I add to the punch. Yeah.
Period.
So, yeah. I'm not going to shout out how many years I've been out here. Because, girl, y'all not going to get me. But
32.
Yeah, the girl's been around, too. But anyway, I'm Tabu, Mother Ninja, Tabu Ninja, do my of Florida, you know what I'm saying? That's me. I'm also known as the voice of Florida. I'm usually the girl that's on the mic. I've been doing this, for quite some time, periodically long time. And, you can find me online, Tabu, the Mother Ninja on Facebook, social media. All my other social media is Tabu on the mic. I also do music. I got a track that's out right now. It's called The Disrespectful Daughters. You know what I'm saying? And, my music's cute. If you like house music, you like the party, you like to have a good time, you don't mind it being a little binge, that's me. That's my style. You say, look me up. You know what I'm saying? Stream it. Your mother stream. No take. Your mother stream. She, you know what I'm saying? My distro kid's set up. She get paid for all that. Stream me, daughters. No take. Get me outside. Okay, I want to be on Beyonce tour. Get me outside, daughters. Stream me. Okay.
So listen, y'all, that what you have been hearing for the past couple weeks is Tabu. So if y'all want to find Tabu,
last couple weeks, you been playing my shit?
I have.
Oh my God, you have? You've been
yes. Listen.
Seriously?
I am.
You lying. You've been supporting.
Oh, get that serious.
Tabu. You don't.
Yes. Okay.
Tabu.
Thank you.
So any, I want you to know that in the dance scene we don't have many ha's. Your song has been sent to every DJ.
Fabulous. So
yeah.
Who did that? Who? That was you. You did that. So you
yes. Every ha that you will ever create, or every song that I feel like can be danced to, will be sent to DJs. Period.
Yeah. I got a couple more coming out. Okay, so bam. So y'all wanna know what I'm up to? This is the year where I start working on shit. I am gonna get back to music. I did my ball last year. That was my project last year. This time I'm coming back to music. I want to do a music video for Disrespectful Daughters. So that should be coming out sometime early next year, or maybe around the fall winter. I'm sharing. Also, I got some new music coming out soon. So bada bing. bada boom. You know, pay
Okay.
attention. Follow me on all social media. Tabu on the mic till it did it. Okay. All right, but that's that. I don't got nothing else to say.
So before we close out, I'm gonna say this. So Kaden played something a couple weeks ago, and I was like, "Who is that?" He said, "That's brother." I was like, "Who?" And so, oh, huh? So I listened to the whole song.
Get me outside with him.
And I was like, I said, send that shit to me. I'm gonna put it on the show. So I was like, I need to cut it up. So like, I have like a small clip that I play when I'm talking about people. I want to just give them some shit. And he got these right here. I play. Disrespectful daughters. Disrespectful daughters.
I love it. Thank you.
So I got a little like 10-second right there. And then like when I'm about to open up the show or end it, I just play the whole song. And I close out like that. And I always tell who the fuck this is. I'm like, this is Taboo, Mother Taboo. You know, like, I'm like, because I feel like this right here. One thing about us, we don't get enough shine for the work that we do. And I'm just like, I'd rather play your shit than go play Drake shit. You know what I'm saying?
No shade, yes.
Because, bitch, I put this shit on right here. Wait a minute, hold on.
That better not be no damn shake and go.
There's a shake and go for the nerve, honey.
Bitch.
That really shake let go.
Bitch, I have to put the girl on. You know what I'm saying? And when I play this song, good.
The disrespect.
Girl, you like one of them Temptations.
Okay. Yeah, I'm here for it.
I gotta give you your props because that shit is hot though, and I hope you like go like real mainstream with that shit right there.
Oh, thank you. My smile's starting to hurt. That means I'm
like with my little, you know, I know
I really happy
on here tonight. I know it may not be a lot of people on here tonight because you know, like, you know, people don't think it's nothing, but like the people that are on here, like they really doing shit. Like Yummy, he doing major shit. Vodou is doing major shit. Taboo is doing major shit. Hell, bitch, I've been here, you know, for a long time, so it is what it is. Forget my numbers. But it's just like, you got to give people the props when it's due. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, don't just be like, oh, I knew them when. No, bitch, we've been here all along. So it's like,
no shade. My girlfriends is outside. Like, I'm seeing all my people in campaigns and magazines on TV shows, and it's just like, damn, I feel like I've been asleep. So, bitch, I'm outside. Don't tell you, like, girl, y'all gonna see me.
How about this? All your music?
We definitely working, honey.
How about this? All your music? Send me that shit. I got you.
I got you,
baby. And when you do music videos, if you need a choreographer, let me know.
Damn.
We gonna all be there. We gonna all be there. And I'm not just saying this shit. We gonna be there.
You are a hop and skip away.
Damn. Okay. I love it so far. Thank you guys. Making me so bubbly and warm and inside.
So check this out. We getting ready to get up out of here. I want to say to Taboo and Vodou and Yummy, thank y'all so much. Hold on, I can't hear shit. Hold on. I want to say thank you so much for coming on tonight, and I really do appreciate that. And hopefully we can do this again because this does give more exposure to us as the LGBTQ people, and especially ballroom. I think there's a ball coming up like in the next couple weeks.
I know the breakdown is happening the 1st, and then isn't there a Kiki ball coming up 23rd? Yeah, there's a Kiki ball 23rd, I believe.
And then there is the Hunger Games ball that's in July. I believe that's what it is. Taboo.
You got to ask the ninja.
Move to October now.
Oh, it's October. Okay, October. Okay. So listen, I'm gonna start posting the balls. I'm gonna start posting all this stuff so that people know exactly what the hell is going on. But I want to say to you guys, thank y'all so much again for coming on, and everybody who has watched and who is gonna be hitting that replay later. I want to say again, thank y'all so much, and I'm gonna see you guys tomorrow morning for the morning show. All right, y'all.
But I am out.